Chapter 109, Stewing in One's Own Juice, 2, Can You Beat Me? I can't beat you. Woo. You're too much of a bully. Elder Chio's eyes welled up with tears, as if he was about to cry. Unfortunately, no one cared. Elder Chio, there's nothing wrong with being a eunuch. They are civil servants at least, Len Ruoxiue teased. What is a civil servant? Elder Chio looked at Len Ruoxiue in confusion. Works for an emperor. Oh, I don't want to be a civil servant, Elder Chio said seriously after thinking about it. Pfft. Len Ruoxiue couldn't help laughing. Elder Chio is really too cute. Teasing him for no reason is pretty fun. In the middle of the hall, Huang Fuyu was taming a beast. But Len Ruoxiue sat in her seat like a spectator who had nothing to do with it, and she didn't have the slightest intention to move, causing everyone present to be endlessly puzzled. Does Len Ruoxiue intend to give up directly? Charm, go. Hook up with that black fox for master, Len Ruoxiue said evilly to Charm, who was lying in her arms. What do you mean by hook up? Charm's fluffy little face was full of black lines. Master. Can you not make things sound so suggestive? Len Ruoxiue's voice was not loud, just enough for everyone present to hear clearly. They were just like Charm and had black lines hanging on their heads. Is Len Ruoxiue planning to let her little pet beast go and hook up with the spirit beast? Charm's transformed appearance was really too cute, so no one thought that he was strong. Many people even believed that the small snow-white fox was a pet. Letting a pet hook up with a spirit beast was a big joke in many people's hearts. If spirit beasts were so easy to hook up with, they would also let their spirit beasts hook up with them. A honey trap. Who didn't know how to do it? Charm jumped out of Len Ruoxiue's arms elegantly and walked slowly to the cage with the ink fox inside. They stared at each other for 3 seconds before they began speaking in the fox language that no one could understand. Purple-eyed snow fox, the ink fox in the cage said softly. It noticed this fox just now, but it didn't expect that a noble king of foxes, a purple-eyed snow fox, would acknowledge a human as his master. Ink fox. How did you get caught by humans? Charm asked curiously. Although purple-eyed snow foxes were acknowledged to be the strongest among the fox race, only they knew that mutated ink foxes with the dark attribute were the most powerful among the fox race. But the fox race felt that black was inauspicious, so they would expel mutated ink foxes and leave them to fend for themselves whenever they appeared. Alas! This was also the sorrow of the ink foxes. Bored, the ink fox in the cage said indifferently. It had lived alone for too long and was very lonely. Its kind refused to accept it, so it would rather be captured by humans. In fact, its goal was very simple. It just wanted to find a partner and some warmth. But it had yet to find a human worthy of being its master, and no human could tame it. My master asked me to hook up with you, Charm said cheekily. Ink foxes were not so easily manipulated, so he had to make the ink fox do it willingly. The ink fox looked at Charm strangely for some time before saying, I'm a male. I'm not interested in the same gender. I'm not interested in the same gender either, Charm said hurriedly with a dark face. Boo-hoo, how embarrassing. What I mean is that you can follow my master, Charm explained. That girl? The ink fox asked calmly. What's so special about her that even the highest-ranking purple-eyed snow fox acknowledged her as his master? Yes, my master is the best master. You will never regret following her, nor will you be alone anymore, Charm said with a touch of sympathy. Mutated ink foxes had not appeared in the fox race for a long time, but he had been very interested in ink foxes since he was young and had once specially studied their mentality. Therefore, he knew that ink foxes were all lonely, but at the same time, ink foxes had the innate pride of purple-eyed snow foxes. The ink fox looked at Len Ruoxiue, then at Charm, and fell into deep thought. Will Charm succeed? Yuchen asked curiously. The ink fox had been coldly treated since he was young, so it wouldn't be easy to move him. I have confidence in Charm, Leng Ruoxue said. Charm and Darling had communicated about the ink fox in her head just now, so she felt sympathy for the ink fox. To be honest, she wasn't a compassionate person. She might not feel this way if it was a human, but, alas. I just can't stand seeing cute little animals being treated like this. Seeing the ink fox still pondering, Charm didn't bother him. He waited quietly by the side for his decision while watching Huang Fuyu tame the other beast. Humph. Daring to scheme against Master, she will be lucky if she merely dies. I agree to acknowledge her as my master, the ink fox said slowly after pondering for a long time. He hoped that he wouldn't regret his decision. His request was simple, he just wanted to feel a trace of warmth. You won't regret it, Charm said firmly. The ink fox could experience the rest for himself. I'll help you open the cage. No need. I'll do it myself, the ink fox said and immediately broke out of the cage. An ordinary cage for holy beasts like this was nothing to him. If it wasn't because he was too lazy to leave, it would have been impossible to trap him. After getting out, the ink fox glanced at the one-horned golden flood dragon and then walked toward Leng Ruoxue with Charm. Most of the people present looked at this unbelievable scene with their mouths agape. The hookup actually succeeded. Can I also get my spirit beast to deploy honey traps in the future as well? Everyone's thoughts became lively at that moment. The ink fox, who had transformed into a little fox, walked to Leng Ruoxue and said, I am willing to acknowledge you as my master. Okay. Leng Ruoxue nodded and happily hugged the cute little black fox in her arms. Why are spirit beasts all so cute in their transformed state? They're simply irresistible. The ink fox, who was in Leng Ruoxue's arms, felt uncomfortable all over and also a little shy. Fortunately, he was black and had fluffy fur to protect himself. Otherwise, others would definitely notice that his face was red. Chapter 110, Stewing in One's Own Juice, 3, Don't be shy. My beloved master is easy to get along with, Darling said understandingly. I'm not shy, the exposed ink fox roared in anger. How could I be shy? I've been an adult for hundreds of years. Leng Ruoxue caressed the black fur of the fox to calm him down. Alas! What an awkward little fox. I'll name you Dazzle. Leng Ruoxue said after some thought. Thank you, master, the ink fox said, even though he hadn't officially acknowledged her as his master yet. You can acknowledge me as your master after we leave this place. Okay. Dazzle nodded. Perhaps I really won't regret this decision. Master, that golden flood dragon, Dazzle opened his mouth, seemingly wanting to say something. What about it? Leng Ruoxue looked at Dazzle in confusion. Although flood dragons had the bloodlines of dragons, they were cold-blooded like snakes, and she had never liked snakes. As the human and beast chatted, abnormalities began to appear in the center of the hall that had been silent all along. Amid everyone's exclamations, Leng Ruoxue raised her head to look at Huang Fuyu. At this moment, Huang Fuyu had an extremely painful expression on her face, and her forehead was covered in sweat as her countenance became paler and paler. This was obviously a sign of backlash. Huang Fuyu's life would be over unless someone could tame this flood dragon. But even if someone were to tame the golden flood dragon now, although Huang Fuyu's life could be saved, she would still become a fool. As for the golden flood dragon in the cage, it was still very calm, as if this had nothing to do with it. This flood dragon is quite interesting, Leng Ruoxue thought while looking at the situation in front of her. When do you intend to make a move? Yichen asked in a low voice. Shuer won't just watch Huang Fuyu lose her life, right? There's no rush. Let's enjoy the show first. Of course she would help, but not now. Guards! Guards! Go to the Beast Trainer Association to look for Master Sui. Disregarding her manners, noble consort Su hurriedly stood up and yelled when she realized that something was amiss. Reporting to noble consort, we have already sent people to invite Master Sui. But he doesn't seem to be in lunar capital recently, a eunuch said cautiously. What? Hurry up and look for him. You must find him, noble consort Su said anxiously. My dear consort, please calm down. I have sent someone to invite him over, Huang Fuzhen comforted. Your Majesty, you must think of a way to save our precious daughter. Noble consort Su said with tears in her eyes. No man could bear to refuse such an appearance. Sister, His Majesty will definitely think of a way. Don't worry too much. The Empress tried to console her, but her gaze turned to Leng Ruoxue. Alas, if anything really happens to Huang Fuyu, noble consort Su will definitely blame her. You. It must be you. What did you do? You must have harmed my Yuer. Suddenly, noble consort Su pointed at Leng Ruoxue as if she had gone mad. The hatred in her eyes made it seem as though she wanted to skin Leng Ruoxue alive. Am I the one who wanted to compete? Or am I the one who provided this spirit beast? Leng Ruoxue looked at noble consort Su mockingly. Then you must have done something. Noble consort Su insisted. What a joke. Everyone can vouch that this young lady didn't even stand up. How could I have tampered with it? Why don't you show me how to tamper with it? Is this woman crazy? Leng Ruoxue was really speechless. She originally wanted Huang Fuyu to suffer less, but now, I've changed my mind. Your Majesty, quickly get someone to arrest Leng Ruoxue. She must have harmed Yuer, noble consort Shuer requested Huang Fuzhen. Ah, my beloved consort. I know you're worried about Yuer, but you have to calm down. There are so many people watching. Miss Leng really didn't have the chance to do anything, Huang Fuzhen comforted impatiently. If he really arrested Leng Ruoxue, Leng Qingtian would definitely fight him. Your Majesty. Beloved consort, why don't you go back to your palace to rest first? Huang Fuzhen signaled the eunuch beside him with his eyes, and the eunuch half supported and half carried noble consort Su away. Miss Leng, I'm so sorry. I hope you can understand a mother's love for her daughter, the emperor said with an apologetic face. I understand, Leng Ruoxue said lightly. Of course not. Leng Ruoxue turned her gaze to the golden flood dragon in the cage. This flood dragon is quite interesting. It's actually playing with Huang Fuyu. Otherwise, she would have probably died a long time ago with that little amount of mental strength she has. I will accept this flood dragon just because of its devious nature. Your Majesty, Master Wu is here. A guard walked in and reported. Quick, please, Huang Fuzhen hurriedly said with an anxious expression on his face. A middle-aged man in his 50s walked into the hall. Your Majesty. The middle-aged man bowed slightly. Master Wu, there's no need to be so polite. Please save Yuer, Huang Fuzhen quickly said. Master Wu was the vice president of the Beast Trainer Association, so he should have a way. Your Majesty, don't panic. Let me take a look. Master Wu approached and observed carefully. Your Majesty, there's nothing I can do, Master Wu said after looking at it for a while. He was not a fool. There could only be one possibility: if even a master beast trainer could not tame this spirit beast, they were all mistaken. He would definitely not take the risk since he couldn't determine the level of the golden python. It wouldn't be worth losing his life for someone unrelated to him. What should we do? Master Wu, is Master Sui back? The Empress asked worriedly. Senior brother went to the illusionary forest and won't be back anytime soon. Master Wu's words completely dashed their hopes. Elder Wang, do you think we can invite the genius beast trainer from your academy to try? Huang Fuzhen probed. Your Majesty, how can others tame something that even Master Wu isn't confident about? Elder Wang declined implicitly. Isn't it enough for your daughter to become a fool? Do you want to turn the genius of our academy into one as well? Huang Fuzhen couldn't force Elder Wang after hearing what he said. Chapter 111, Stewing in One's Own Juice, 4. why don't you let my beast try? Leng Ruoxue suddenly said when she saw that it was about time. Oh okay, Huang Fuzhen said happily. Dazzle, go and hook up with that golden python for Master, Leng Ruoxue ordered indifferently. Master. Dazzle's face was full of black lines, and his eyes were full of hidden bitterness as he looked at his future unscrupulous master. Boo-hoo. I'm interested in that fellow. I don't want to hook up with it. But he had to listen to his master's orders. Dazzle mustered up his courage in front of everyone, walked to the cage enclosing the one-horned golden flood dragon, and looked resentfully at the calm flood dragon. Hey, my future master asked me to hook up with you. It was also similar to Charm's opening statement earlier, and it was said in the beast language. I'm not interested in male foxes, the flood dragon replied. I'm not interested in a male snake either, Dazzle said angrily. What an ungrateful stinky snake. You are the snake. Your whole family are snakes. The one-horned golden flood dragon hated being called a snake the most. Humph, how am I like a snake? Do snakes have scales as beautiful as mine? What a tasteless idiot. I am a fox, and I don't have a family. Dazzle roared. He was really angry. Charm, what are they talking about? Leng Ruoxue couldn't help asking when she saw the two little beasts seemingly arguing. They're bickering. Charm's face was full of black lines. These two fellows. He would have beaten them up if not for the fact that he didn't want to expose his strength. They really made him worry. All right. I accept hooking up with you, the flood dragon suddenly said after he was done arguing with Dazzle. Then what are you waiting for? Come with me to see Master quickly, Dazzle said in a commanding tone. What should I do with this woman? The flood dragon asked disdainfully as he looked at the woman who had been blinded by her own cleverness. Just turn her into a fool. Don't kill her, Yao said after some thought. He definitely couldn't let a woman who dared to plot against his master off easily. Okay. The flood dragon increased the pressure on her mental strength until he was sure that Huang Fu-yu was definitely a fool. After losing the pressure, Huang Fu-ye's body collapsed to the ground. The flood dragon broke open his cage like Dazzle had done, and his cold golden eyes glanced indifferently at Master Wu. Then he transformed into a mini snake as thick as a finger and crawled toward Leng Ruoxue behind Dazzle. Nearby, Master Wu felt a chill run down his spine from just being glanced at by those cold golden eyes, but Leng Ruoxue held the golden snake in her hand and fiddled with him. The snake's body was cold, his scales were very soft, and his entire body was golden. He looks pretty good. Oh, I can use him as a bracelet. Miss, these two spirit beasts belong to our Beast Trainer Association. I hope you can return them to their owners. Master Wu summoned up his courage to say as he looked at the golden python hanging around Leng Ruoxue's snow-white wrist as a bracelet and the black fox lying in her arms. He could see that Leng Ruoxue was definitely not easy to deal with, so he could choose not to take back that python, but he had to bring that fox back. That level 9 holy beast was the treasure of their Beast Trainer Association. You're saying that they're yours? What evidence do you have? Leng Ruoxue said indifferently. Whatever was in her hands was hers. There was no way they could go back. Master Wu was speechless. How was he going to prove it? Even if he went back and asked the people of the Beast Trainer Association to be his witnesses, she probably wouldn't admit it. Princess Huang Fu-yu borrowed these two spirit beasts from our Beast Trainer Association, Master Wu continued, unwilling to give up. Oh, ask the princess to testify then. The princess said that whoever tamed these two spirit beasts would be their owner. She had the power to make the decision, and everyone here can testify to it, Leng Ruoxue said indifferently with an expression that screamed, don't try to lie to me. Is this stinky girl planning to keep these spirit beasts of our association? Ask the princess to testify. The princess has already fainted. Even if she wakes up now, she's probably a fool. What's there to testify? Master Wu was so angry. Miss, it won't do you any good to offend our Beast Trainer Association, Master Wu warned. Master Wu, are you threatening me? This young lady only recognizes beasts and not humans. These two beasts are mine now, and no one can snatch them away. Len Ruoxue used the word snatch to imply that they shouldn't bully others with their power. That's right. The condition was agreed upon before the competition. But you want them back now that our young lady won the competition. What kind of person is this? How can people from the Beast Trainer Association bully others like this? Feng De echoed cleverly. You, Master Wu, right? Since the princess is the one who borrowed them from you, why don't you ask the princess for them? Why are you pestering my young lady? You're too old. Lin Yuan also wanted to stir up trouble, and he even implied that Master Wu was up to no good. Your Majesty. Master Wu was so angry that he couldn't speak, and he turned to look at Huang Fuzhen. Master Wu. Yue is currently unconscious. Let's talk about it when she wakes up. Huang Fuzhen said perfunctorily. He couldn't clean up this mess. Seeing the emperor's attitude, Master Wu was very unwilling, but there was nothing he could do. He couldn't forcefully snatch them, and even if he tried, he wouldn't be able to snatch them. This incident has dampened everyone's spirits, so let's end the banquet here. Huang Fuzhen said. Swear, let's go back. Ling Qingtian said. Today's show was almost over. Okay. Len Ruoxue and the others stood up and walked out of the hall. But just as they reached the imperial garden, a maidservant stopped them. Miss Leng, Her Majesty the Empress invites you, the maidservant said respectfully. I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with your Empress, Len Ruoxue declined lightly. Just as Len Ruoxue and the others were about to leave, a handsome youth appeared in front of them. Miss Leng, I am Huang Fuyan. Imperial Mother asked me to invite you over. The Empress had told the Crown Prince not to put on airs in front of Len Ruoxue. Chapter 112, Stewing in One's Own Juice, 5, Shuer, Go. Ling Qingtian said. She should at least give her some face since the Crown Prince personally invited her. Okay, I'll listen to Grandpa. Shuer, I'll go with you, Yichen said. He was worried about this Crown Prince. Grandpa, you can go back first. There's no need to wait for us, Len Ruoxue said to her grandfather with a nod. Then she and Freak followed Huang Fuyan to the Empress Palace, Phoenix Right Hall. At the Phoenix Right Hall. Imperial Mother, Miss Leng is here, Huang Fuyan said to the beautiful middle-aged woman sitting in Phoenix Right Hall. Welcome, Ruoxue. The beautiful middle-aged woman stood up and greeted her. Your Majesty, we don't seem to be so familiar. Len Ruoxue couldn't help asking. Is this Empress trying to get close to me? Your mother and I were very good friends, the Empress explained with a smile. When she first saw Len Ruoxue, she only felt that she was very beautiful and resembled an old friend. But she later found out that she really was the daughter of the old friend. I've never heard that my mother had a friend who is an Empress, Len Ruoxue said lightly, not knowing why the Empress called her here. When she was in the hall just now, the expression on the Empress' face clearly showed that she didn't know her. But now, she was actually trying to worm her way into being close with her. That's normal. Very few people know that your mother and I were friends, the Empress said nonchalantly. Oh, may I know why your Majesty wanted to see Ruoxue? Len Ruoxue asked bluntly. I just want to remind you to be careful of noble Consort Su. She won't let you off, the Empress said with concern on her beautiful face. Thank you for the reminder, Your Majesty. Ruoxue will be careful. If there's nothing else, we'll take our leave. Be careful on the road. I'll ask Lianer to send a carriage to see you off, the Empress said enthusiastically. There's no need. We have a spirit beast. Quill, who had been lying in Len Ruoxue's arms, immediately flew into the air and became larger after hearing his master's words. After Len Ruoxue and Yi Chen sat on his back, he flew out of the imperial palace. Imperial Mother. Where is His Majesty? Imperial Father went to Huang Fu Ye's chambers, Huang Fu Yan said. Lianer, let's go take a look too, the Empress said after some thought. Your Majesty, you have to avenge Yuer. It's all because of that slut Len Ruoxue. Woo woo, the Empress and the Crown Prince heard noble consort Su crying and talking the moment they entered Huang Fu Ye's chambers. Beloved consort, everyone saw what happened just now. If we cause trouble for Len Ruoxue because of this, people will talk and criticize us. So even if we want to take revenge, we have to have a better excuse. Huang Fuzhen coaxed gently, but his eyes were full of impatience. Your Majesty is right. Even if we want to take revenge, we have to think about it carefully. How can we just take revenge like that? The Empress echoed as she walked in. Empress is right, noble consort Su said obediently. But the hatred in her eyes was impossible to ignore. Len Ruoxue, you are dead meat. Len Ruoxue and Yi Chen soon returned to the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. I'm going back to my room. Len Ruoxue went directly into her room after saying this to Freak. Yi Chen stood in the corridor and looked at Shuer's closed door gloomily. After returning to her room, Len Ruoxue entered the Heaven and Earth bracelet. Shuer. Len Ruhan hurried over when he saw his sister. Big brother, don't worry, Len Ruoxue comforted. She knew very well what her brother was afraid of. Big brother, they are my new spirit beasts. Len Ruoxue changed the topic and pointed at the two sluggish little beasts who entered with her. Yes, Big brother saw it. Even though he was in the Heaven and Earth bracelet, he could see what was happening outside. Master, I'm leaving for a while, Charm suddenly said. Then he picked up the fox and the flood dragon, asked Qing Ju to find a place for them, and did what he had wanted to do in the palace. Big brother, are you going out? Yes. Everyone will be worried if they don't see me return, Len Ruhan said. Then I'll send you out. After sending her brother out, Len Ruoxue returned to the Heaven and Earth bracelet. But just as she entered, two crying little beasts jumped into her arms. Moreover, they looked, quite miserable. A lot of the soft and shiny black fur on Dazzle's body had fallen, and a lot of it was stuck together. A few scales had fallen off the body of the golden flood dragon, and there were bloodstains all over his golden body. Master, Charm bullied us. Dazzle was the first to complain. That damn stinky snow fox is actually a divine beast. Boo-hoo. I feel inferior. That snow fox clearly cultivated for far less time than I did, but he's already a divine beast. This was too much of a blow to an old fox who had cultivated alone for hundreds of years. Master, you have to uphold justice for the disadvantaged. You can't let the evil forces continue to run rampant, the proud one-horned golden flood dragon said pitifully. A few drops of cold sweat dripped down Len Ruoxue's forehead. What's going on? I really didn't expect these two little beasts to be such funny fellows. Alas. It seems like my life will be very lively from now on. Charm. Master. Charm obediently jumped into Len Ruoxue's arms and lay down. His beautiful purple eyes looked triumphantly at the two complaining fellows. Today, he wanted them to know who the boss here was. Stay here for now. Len Ruoxue said to the fox and flood dragon before leaving the Heaven and Earth bracelet with Charm and Darling in her arms. Master, the next day, when Len Ruoxue entered the Heaven and Earth bracelet, she found the two little beasts lying listlessly on the ground even though their injuries had long healed. What's wrong with you two? Len Ruoxue asked curiously. Alas. Our master doesn't like us, Dazzle said without even looking up. After he stayed here for a night, his inferiority complex had already changed into an extreme inferiority complex because he discovered that his future master had many extraordinary beasts. Even that bird was a divine beast. Boo-hoo, divine beast. I also want to be one. Chapter 113, Stewing in One's Own Juice, 6, Who said that? Len Ruoxue was puzzled. Did I say anything about not liking them? It doesn't need to be said. Master has so many beasts, but we aren't the most powerful, so Master naturally won't have many opportunities to use us. What status will we have then? The one-horned golden flood dragon lowered his head in dejection. Woo woo. I still don't have a name. Pfft. Len Ruoxue couldn't help laughing out loud. How can these two beasts be so cute? They can actually think of something like this. What's so funny? The bad-tempered flood dragon roared angrily and raised his head. Master, oh no, why is it Master? Oh no, it's over. Master's impression of me is probably even worse now. Boo-hoo. Master. Dazzle also looked up upon hearing the word Master. It's really Master. What did I say just now? Hide quickly. What are you two hiding for? Come out. Len Ruoxue looked at the two little beasts shyly hiding behind the tree after seeing her. When she saw them yesterday, she felt that these two fellows were quite steady and mature. Why did it seem like they had been swapped out after only one night? Master, you can't dislike us, Dazzle said cautiously. Did I say I don't like you? I came here to contract with you, Len Ruoxue explained. Why do these two little fellows feel so insecure? Really? Really? After hearing this, the two little beasts hurriedly ran out from behind the tree and looked at Len Ruoxue expectantly. Really? Len Ruoxue looked at the two very unsure little fellows with some amusement. Then she reached out, hugged them in her arms, and exited the heaven and earth bracelet. After leaving her room, Len Ruoxue went straight to look for Freak. I want to go out for a while, Len Ruoxue said directly to Freak after entering his room. Where? I want to go too. Freak's black and shiny beautiful eyes were full of anticipation. Then let's go. After notifying her grandfather, the two of them sat on Quill and left the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. Quill, go to Thousand Cry Mountain. Yes, Master. After flying for about an hour, the two humans and three beasts arrived at Thousand Cry Mountain. Quill found a place with no one around to land. We can establish the contracts now, Len Ruoxue said to the two little beasts. Yes, Master. The two little beasts happily started the soul contracts directly. After the contract arrays disappeared, they successfully acknowledged their master. Master. The two little beasts pounced directly into Len Ruoxue's arms and acted coquettishly. Golden Flood Dragon will be called Rise from now on. Take these two pills now. After giving the Flood Dragon a name, Len Ruoxue took out two green spirit pills and handed them to the two little beasts. Yes, Master. Such rich spiritual energy. The two little beasts were surprised and couldn't wait to throw the pills into their mouths. A moment later, the two little beasts felt something amiss, as though they were about to advance. Master, we're going to advance. The two little beasts screamed and quickly jumped out of Len Ruoxue's arms. They found a spacious place and restored their huge bodies in preparation to advance. Not long later, heaven and earth laws descended. Even after the heaven and earth laws disappeared, the two little beasts were still in a daze. They became divine beasts. They became divine beasts so easily. Ah! The two little beasts looked at each other again and again. Yes, they were really divine beasts now. This was really unbelievable. They had both cultivated for hundreds of years, but they became divine beasts in such a short time. After the two beasts advanced, the spiritual energy in Len Ruoxue's body reached a peak. But unfortunately, she still didn't feel any signs of breaking through. Master. After the two beasts finally believed that they had become divine beasts, they happily jumped into Len Ruoxue's arms and rubbed against her. But their behavior thoroughly offended someone who suspected them of taking advantage of her. Are you two done? The two little beasts were thrown out with a furious roar. Woo woo. Master, he bullied us. After being thrown far away, the two little beasts crawled back and complained aggrievedly. Freak, what are you doing? Len Ruoxue asked in confusion. Is Freak jealous of the two little beasts? These two little things were taking advantage of you, Freak complained with tears in his eyes. Boo-hoo. I haven't even enjoyed this benefit yet, but the spirit beasts beat me to it. At this moment, Freak felt extremely unbalanced in his heart. Freak, aren't you thinking too much? They are just two spirit beasts, Len Ruoxue said helplessly. They are already divine beasts and can transform into humans. Freak exposed the two little beasts' scheme. Yes. Why didn't you two transform into human form? Len Ruoxue asked curiously. We are too used to being spirit beasts and didn't react for a while. Moreover, we are strongest in our beast form, Dazzle explained. What he said was the truth. The two of them were really not mentally prepared at all for the advancement to divine beast. After the advancement, they were so excited that they forgot they could transform into human form. Moreover, as beasts, they could still occupy the arms of their master, hee. Beloved master, your darling also wants to advance. Woo woo, at this moment, darling in the heaven and earth bracelet lost his composure. The other two advanced to divine beasts, but he was still only a level 8 holy beast now. Boo-hoo. This is too much of a blow. He felt so sad and so inferior. I told you to cultivate properly time and again. Now you're anxious, huh? Len Ruoxue pretended to scold him. Beloved master, you can't dislike your darling, darling said aggrievedly. He just wanted to stay with his master. Cultivation was too boring. I don't dislike you. Since you want to advance, I'll get Qing Ju to find a place for you to cultivate. Come out when you advance to level 9 holy beast, Len Ruoxue said. Beloved master, you mustn't forget darling. Darling said worriedly. Chapter 114, We didn't do anything, 1, of course not. How could I forget my cute darling? Len Ruoxue promised. Then your darling will cultivate. Cultivate diligently. After arranging darling's matter, Len Ruoxue saw Freak looking at her with resentment. She smiled helplessly. What? Are you really jealous of the spirit beasts? Can't I be jealous? Freak said aggrievedly. Yesterday, Schwer ignored me because of these two little beasts. Boo-hoo. Yes. Yes, you can. Len Ruoxue coaxed. There was nothing she could do about him. Freak loved to pretend to be pitiful, and it always made her unable to steal her heart. Alas. Am I really going to be manipulated by him? No, I have to think of a way. That's more like it, Freak said with satisfaction. Humph. If this little thing dared to say no, I would have had to run away from home. Let's go back. Len Ruoxue said while looking at the time. Why are we going back so early? Let's stay for a while. Freak didn't want to go back so early. Tomorrow is the individual competition. We have to go back and prepare. What's there to prepare? Freak said nonchalantly. In fact, they had all discussed it today but only hid it from Schwer. Then why are we staying here? They had just left this place a few days ago, and there was really nothing better to do here. A date. We haven't been on a date for a long time, Freak said pitifully. A date. Len Ruoxue's forehead dripped with sweat. What does Freak mean? Have we been on a date before? Why can't I remember? Yes. You have to go on a date with me. You're my fiancé, so we have to go on a date. Freak emphasized. Okay then. How do you want to go on the date? Len Ruoxue coaxed. There's something wrong with Freak today. Let's find a quiet place. Freak said suggestively. What do you want to do? Leng Ruoxue looked at him cautiously. I don't want to do anything. I just want to find a place where no one will disturb us. Freak felt wronged. How could Shuer misunderstand me? I'm such a pure child. Isn't there no one here? Where else could there be? But there are beasts here. Why don't you put them away? Freak pointed at the two eyesores. Leng Ruoxue looked at the two beasts not far away, who were looking at her with tears in their eyes. All right. After thinking about it, Leng Ruoxue got the two beasts to enter the heaven and earth bracelet. Alas! Does this count as choosing a man over beasts? Put Quill away too. Freak continued. All right. Leng Ruoxue obediently got Quill to enter the bracelet as well. Freak should be satisfied now. That's more like it. Seeing how cooperative Shuer was, Freak was very satisfied. His depressed mood finally improved a little. The two of them found a place to sit down, but no one spoke for a while. Hey, when are you going to stop? Leng Ruoxue couldn't stand being stared at so intently by Freak. I want to look at you forever, Freak said lovingly, his bright black eyes hiding tenderness. Don't look at me like that. I can't get used to it. Leng Ruoxue's heart was racing. Damn it. What's wrong with me? It's not like no one has looked at me this way before. No, I have to calm down. Let's go back. Freak said when he saw that he had achieved his goal. He knew that he shouldn't force Shuer too much, or she would definitely resist. It was better to stop at the right time. Let's head back. Leng Ruoxue said as she calmed her breathing and let Quill out. When they returned to Elegance Lagoon Pavilion, it was already past lunchtime. They had some food in the restaurant downstairs and then went straight to the reception room. Grandpa, Elder Chiu. You're back. Where did you go? Leng Qingtian couldn't help asking curiously. We went to the Thousand Cry Mountain, Leng Ruoxue explained simply. All done. Leng Qingtian knew that Shuer had gone to the Thousand Cry Mountain for the advancement of the two little beasts. Done. There shouldn't be much today, right? Leng Ruoxue asked. Some people from the Beast Trainer Association just came. They wanted to invite you to discuss in detail, Elder Chiu said. Alas. This Beast Trainer Association is also big trouble. There's nothing to talk about. I've already contracted those two spirit beasts, Leng Ruoxue said. It was impossible for her to return them even if she didn't contract them. Lass. The Beast Trainer Association is a tough nut to crack. Elder Chiu reminded her. The people from the Beast Trainer Association were not very strong. But many powerhouses were counting on the Beast Trainer Association to tame spirit beasts for them, so they had to listen to whatever the Beast Trainer Association said. If the Beast Trainer Association used this as a condition, there would probably be many powerhouses looking for trouble with this girl. Elder Chiu, the Beast Trainer Association is unreasonable in this matter. Even if they want to find fault, they can't find fault with me. If they really find trouble with me, then they are bullying me, so there's no need to be afraid. I believe there are still many righteous people in the world, Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. Lass, you are still too inexperienced. How can there be so many righteous people in the world? There will only be justice with strength. Which weak person will speak up for you? Elder Chiu said with some concern. To put it bluntly, in this world, the strong were respected, and whoever had a harder fist was justice. Old Leng, why don't you persuade your granddaughter? Aren't you worried? Seeing that he couldn't dissuade Leng Ruoxue, Elder Chiu had to ask Leng Qingtian for help. This child has grown and can longer be controlled by a guardian, Leng Qingtian said indifferently. His precious granddaughter had several divine beasts, and he was a spiritual supremacy with a divine beast. Whoever wanted to come to their death could come. This was something unstoppable. You two are really calm. Looks like I'm old. Elder Chiu said with emotion. Pfft. Len Ruoxue and the others couldn't help laughing after hearing what Elder Chiu said. What's so funny? Elder Chiu roared with widened eyes. Chapter 115, We didn't do anything. 2, Elder Chiu, do you want to break through to spiritual supremacy? Len Ruoxue changed the topic. She had discussed it with her grandfather and felt that she could give Elder Chiu a heavenly essence pill. The main reason was that they had been getting along well recently, and this old man was the right-hand man of Principal Lin, who was her brother's master and her grandfather's good friend. Of course I do. I've wanted to break through for a long time. Elder Chiu looked at Ling Qingtian with envy. He had spent as much time as Ling Qingtian at peak spiritual sovereign. Moreover, the difference between peak spiritual sovereign and spiritual supremacy was like the difference between heaven and earth. Elder Chiu, take this, and you can advance. Len Ruoxue took out a white pill and handed it to Elder Chiu. Really? So magical. Elder Chiu took the pill doubtfully and smelled it. It smells so good. Of course it's true. I ate this to advance, Ling Qingtian said. After hearing this, Elder Chiu immediately threw the pill into his mouth without thinking. But soon, he felt that something was amiss. Oh no, I'm going to advance. Elder Chiu hurriedly sat cross-legged on the ground. You damn old thing. Who asked you to eat it here? Ling Qingtian roared and set up a barrier to prevent Elder Chiu from being disturbed. Then he retreated outside the reception room with Shuer and the others to guard him. What's wrong? What happened? The commotion caused by Elder Chiu attracted a lot of people, including people from the Rising Dragon Academy, the Flying Bird Academy, and even many families in Lunar Capital. Nothing. Elder Chiu is merely advancing, Len Ruoxue said indifferently. The commotion caused by someone advancing to spiritual supremacy is extraordinary. It actually attracted so many people. Merely advancing. Everyone present had a few drops of cold sweat on their foreheads. If they remembered correctly, Elder Chiu should be at peak spiritual sovereign. Wouldn't he be a spiritual supremacy if he advanced? A spiritual supremacy. He would become one of the top powerhouses on the Ling Feng continent. After all, there was no spiritual deity on the Ling Feng continent now. They were so envious. About half an hour later, the heaven and earth laws slowly dissipated. After a while, Elder Chiu emerged from the reception room, looking refreshed and elated. Elder Chiu, congratulations. Congratulations. Everyone present simultaneously congratulated Elder Chiu. Hee hee. Just luck. Elder Chiu said with a smile. He didn't dare to say that he advanced because Ruoxue gave him a small pill. Otherwise, Old Man Leng would eat him alive. Moreover, he was also afraid of causing Ruoxue trouble. How heaven-defying must it be to be able to advance to spiritual supremacy with just a pill? That's because Elder Chiu is lucky. We don't have such luck, Elder Wang said enviously. He also wanted to advance. Boo-hoo. Hee hee. Elder Wang, don't be anxious. You will have a chance too. Elder Chiu comforted him happily. After Elder Chiu exchanged pleasantries with them, these people gradually dispersed. After sending everyone off, Elder Chiu wiped the sweat off his head. Those people were really too enthusiastic. If he hadn't used tomorrow's competition as an excuse, they would still be reluctant to leave. Elder Chiu, how does it feel to be a celebrity? Feng De asked with a smile when he saw that everyone had left. So tiring. Now he finally knew why the girl liked to keep a low profile. Not just anyone could be a celebrity. Elder Chiu, it's getting late. Let's talk about tomorrow's matches. Len Ruoxue walked over. Oh, right. The finals of the individual competition are tomorrow. Come in. Elder Chiu walked into the reception room first. After Leng Ruoxue and the others entered the reception room and sat down, Elder Chiu specially cleared his throat before speaking. Lass, I won't say any words of thanks. If you need my help in the future, just let me know. Chiu Cheng looked at Leng Ruoxue gratefully. He really didn't know how to repay such a big favor. Okay. Leng Ruoxue nodded. From tomorrow onward, the finals of the individual competition will officially begin. On each match day, there will be a redraw to decide your opponents, so there is no way to know who you're facing beforehand. But each of you only has 9 opponents in total, so it's best if you have some understanding of each person's characteristics before the start of the finals. Elder Chiu continued very seriously and introduced the situations of the other opponents to them one by one. By the time Elder Chiu finished introducing the opponents, it was almost time for dinner. After dinner, Leng Ruoxue and the others went to bed early. Late at night, Leng Ruoxue was sleeping soundly on the bed with a little white fox sleeping soundly in her arms. A man in black with a cold gaze was standing by her bedside and holding a saber in his hand. The blade was cold and intimidating and contained spiritual power. And under the moonlight, the saber tip left traces of light on the bed. The man in black raised the saber in his hand and slashed at Leng Ruoxue. Suddenly, a white ray of cold light froze the man in black into ice, and the saber in his hand fell to the ground with a clang. What's the matter, Schwer? Freak and the others heard the sound and rushed in. At this moment, Leng Ruoxue had already sat up on the bed. Her clothes were neat, and there was no sign of her sleeping at all. Nothing, just a fly, Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. In fact, she had not been sleeping at all. She happened to be cultivating in the heaven and earth bracelet just now, and later, she sensed that someone was sneaking around, so she cooperated. But she still unexpectedly alarmed Freak, her grandfather, and the others. Charm, is he dead? Yi Chen looked at the man in black, who had frozen into ice. Not yet. He knew what to do. How could he let this person die so easily? Unfreeze him. I want to interrogate him, Yi Chen said. Okay. Let me do it, Leng Ruoxue said lightly. It's just thawing, isn't it? I can do it too. Master. Charm was speechless as he looked at the block of ice with pity. People who offend Master won't have a good end. Chapter 116, We Didn't Do Anything. 3. Leng Ruoxue gathered her fire attribute spiritual power in her hand and waved it at the block of ice. After a few minutes, it melted. The man in black was wet and trembling non-stop. At this moment, the two spiritual powers of fire and ice were fighting in the man in black's body, both wanting to obtain the upper hand. Leng Qingtian stepped forward and pulled down the mask on the man in black's face. Then he was stunned. Grandpa, what's wrong? Leng Ruoxue asked doubtfully after seeing her grandfather's reaction. Nothing, Leng Qingtian said quickly after coming back to his senses. How can they be so alike? But no matter how alike they are, a fake is still a fake. Schwer, what happened? Leng Ruhan hurried in. It's okay. Big brother doesn't have to worry, Leng Ruoxue hurriedly comforted. She had actually startled her brother. That's good. Leng Ruhan turned his head and saw the black-clothed man's face. He couldn't help exclaiming, Dad. Leng Ruhan's address of Dad attracted everyone's attention. Big brother, what did you call him? Leng Ruoxue thought she had heard wrong. But after seeing the others' reactions, she was sure that she hadn't heard wrong. It's nothing. I saw wrong, but this man resembles Dad, Leng Ruhan explained. Who are you? Leng Ruoxue asked the man in black, whose face was alternating between red and white. This man in black was about 40 years old, good-looking, and indeed resembled her brother in some ways. No wonder Big Brother was mistaken. Grandpa must have thought that he was his son just now too. I'm the one who came to take your life. The man in black looked at Leng Ruoxue with eyes full of hatred. You? If I'm not mistaken, noble consort Su sent you. Len Ruoxue said with certainty. Probably no one else other than noble consort Su would command an advanced spiritual sovereign to be an assassin. Moreover, this man resembled her father so much. No, I don't know any noble consort Su, the man in black denied. Whether you admit it or not isn't important to me. Since noble consort Su was willing to send you here, I'm sure you're just an unimportant substitute for her, Len Ruoxue said with some pity. I'm not a substitute. I'm not a substitute, the man in black roared furiously. I know no one is willing to be someone else's substitute, but you're doing it willingly. Who can you blame? Len Ruoxue continued to provoke him. I said I'm not a substitute, the man in black yelled, somewhat emotionally unstable. Grandpa, let him go. Len Ruoxue knew that she had achieved her goal. Okay. He believed that Shuer had her reasons for doing so. Leave. On account of you looking so much like my son, I won't kill you this time. But you'll be dead next time, Ling Qingtian added oil to the fire. Shuer, why didn't you kill him? Ling Qingtian asked unpleasantly after the man in black left. In his opinion, directly killing such a person would save a lot of trouble. Because I want to use him to restrain noble consort Su and let these dogs fight each other, Len Ruoxue explained. After returning from the last banquet, she had asked her grandfather in detail about what had happened back then. Moreover, she had Feng De investigated and learned some relatively secret things. Shuer, are you sure that person is related to noble consort Su? Ling Qingtian asked while suppressing his anger. Su Lianer really wants to haunt us. Yes. Noble consort Su doesn't only have people like him by her side. It's just that they don't know of each other's existence, Len Ruoxue said. She knew that there were a few people by noble consort Zu's side who looked a lot like her father. But if it weren't for her brother calling him Dad, she wouldn't have been too sure that this person was related to noble consort Su. After all, she had no impression of the father of this body at all. Shuer, the Su family isn't easy to deal with. We should, Grandpa, don't worry. I don't intend to deal with the Su family now. It's never too late to take revenge. It's been so many years, so we can wait. Len Ruoxue tried to calm him down. She was not an impulsive person, so she wouldn't do anything unless she was absolutely sure. That's good. Ling Qingtian felt relieved after hearing Shuer's words. Grandpa, go back to your room and sleep. Okay, we're going back. Be careful. Ling Qingtian reminded her worriedly. Okay. Why are you still here? Len Ruoxue saw that the others had left, but Freak had no intention of leaving. I want to stay behind to protect my fiancé, Freak said matter-of-factly. What a great opportunity to be a hero and save the beauty. Too bad it was the fox who actually got lucky. Alas. He was depressed. I can protect myself. Go back to your room and sleep. She couldn't let Freak stay in her room. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to clear her name even if she jumped into the Yellow River. I don't want to. With that, Freak took out a blanket from his ring, spread it on the ground, and lay directly on it. But he kept muttering in his heart, have pity on me. The ground is very cold. Unfortunately, he had miscalculated. Seeing that she couldn't chase him away, Len Ruoxue ignored him and laid on the bed in her clothes. She fell asleep in no time. Freak had a sleepless night listening to Shuer's sound breathing. Alas, the plot failed. Len Ruoxue woke up early the next morning. She turned her head and saw a resentful handsome face. His bright black eyes seemed to be welling with tears, and there were 2 dark circles under his eyes. Upon seeing Freak like this, she was at a loss. What does Freak want? When they walked out of the room, Ling Qingtian and the others, who were already waiting in the corridor, looked at them strangely and ambiguously. It made Len Ruoxue uncomfortable all over. Grandpa, don't be mistaken. We didn't do anything. She instantly felt regretful. Didn't I just reveal what I wanted to hide? She turned her head and glared at Freak. Chapter 117, We didn't do anything, 4, I didn't say anything. Freak said cautiously while looking at Leng Ruoxue pitifully. He even glanced at everyone with watery eyes, making it difficult for them not to feel pity. But his heart was overjoyed. Fortunately, we came out late. If we came out earlier, no one would have seen us. Hee hee. Do you still need to say it? Leng Ruoxue roared angrily. He was obviously deliberately attracting attention but also pretending to be submissive. Anyone who saw Freak like this would definitely think that she did something to him. Shuer, you've grown up. Grandpa is very open-minded, and you two are engaged. Hee hee, you don't have to be embarrassed. Leng Qingtian knew that his granddaughter was shy, so he quickly comforted her. But his words only made her angrier. Grandpa, I told you we didn't do anything. Leng Ruoxue stressed. Why doesn't Grandpa believe me? Boo-hoo. Yes, yes. Grandpa knows that you didn't do anything. Grandpa understands, Leng Qingtian said perfunctorily. But Shuer, you have to be responsible for Yi Chen. Leng Qingtian added. Yes, that's right. Yi Chen nodded in agreement. She should have been responsible for me a long time ago. I'm so happy that Grandpa is so sensible. Leng Ruoxue was speechless. She directly grabbed hold of Freak's collar and dragged him back into her room. Immediately after, the room was full of banging sounds. So intense? Can Deputy Leader Yi take it? Fengde murmured curiously. The others had the same thought. Let's leave first. Or else Shuer will be shy again when she comes out, Leng Qingtian said thoughtfully. Yeah. Hide quickly, leave, disperse. With that, everyone quickly dispersed. In the room. Humph. Since they all think I did something, wouldn't it be such a loss if I didn't do anything? With this thought in mind, Leng Ruoxue angrily pushed him onto the bed, threw herself on top of him, and ripped open his clothes. Freak was pinned down by Shuer, and his face was full of anticipation. He kept shouting in his heart, "Come on, take me." But after he waited for a long time, Shuer didn't take any further action. Shuer, Freak called out softly, anticipating. Ah! Leng Ruoxue, who had calmed down, hurriedly stood up when she saw what she was doing. Her face was burning, and her heart was thumping non-stop. Damn it! Why was I so impulsive? I almost fell for Freak's trick. But to be honest, Freak is indeed very attractive, but he's also very troublesome. Shuer, how can you do this to me? Seeing that his plan to entice her had failed again, Freak sat up reluctantly. Why is Shuer so strong-willed? How distressing. Hurry up and fix your clothes. We should go out, Leng Ruoxue said when she saw his disheveled clothes. You were the one who tore my clothes apart. Freak looked at Leng Ruoxue aggrievedly and casually adjusted his clothes. Make it look better. You can't go out like this, Leng Ruoxue yelled. If Freak were to go out like this, she wouldn't be able to clear her name no matter what she said. But she didn't know yet that she could no longer clear her name now. Shuer, you're bullying me. Freak accused seriously while adjusting his clothes. When did I bully you? Don't wrong me. Hurry up and go out. They're getting anxious from waiting, Leng Ruoxue said when she saw that Freak had sorted out his clothes. When the two of them walked out of the room for the second time, there was no one in the corridor. Where is everyone? Did they all leave? No, we're still here. At this moment, the people who had been waiting for a long time suddenly emerged from who knows where. Lass, let's go since you're done. Elder Chiu said very considerately with a wretched smile on his face. Young people should be so passionate. Hee hee, it's good to be young. We didn't do anything, they said in unison. Ah, yes. You didn't do anything. Let's go now. Elder Chiu cleverly stopped bringing it up, lest they became shy. By the time everyone arrived at the competition venue, it was already crowded. Elder Chiu brought Len Ruoxue and the others to the main stage to draw lots. Elder Chiu, you're finally here. We've been waiting for you, Elder Wang of the Rising Dragon Academy said when he saw Elder Chiu. Sorry I'm late. Referee, can we start drawing lots now? Elder Wang asked. Alright, everyone is here. The referee took out the prepared box and placed it in front of them. Soon, all 10 people had their opponents for the first battle. Len Ruoxue's first opponent was Lin Yuan. Yi Chen's opponent was Yi Xiao from the Rising Dragon Academy. Feng Moran's opponent was Di Fei from the Flying Bird Academy. Hua Qing's opponent was Pang Sen from the Lunar Shadow Academy. And Feng Da's opponent was Mu Li. When it was time for the matches, the referees gave the order, and the battles officially began. In the first match of the individual competition, Feng Da and Mu Li were the first to go on stage. After going on stage, Feng Da chose to admit defeat, and Mu Li won without even fighting. Len Ruoxue and Lin Yuan were the second to go on stage. After going on stage, Lin Yuan also chose to admit defeat. This way, there were only 3 of the first day's 5 matches left. Hey, what's going on? Why did they admit defeat so quickly? Someone below the stage couldn't help whispering. Is this a strategy of the Heavenly Phoenix Academy? Seeing this scene, the spectators below the stage couldn't help discussing spiritedly. Yi Chen versus Yi Xiao, the referee announced. Yi Chen and Yi Xiao walked onto stage from the 2 sides. Are you from the Yi family? Yi Xiao asked curiously. He had wanted to ask this question for a long time, but he hadn't had the chance. No, Yi Chen said indifferently. Then I won't be polite, Yi Xiao said confidently. If he were a member of the Yi family, he might have shown mercy. Chapter 118, We didn't do anything. 5, I don't need you to go easy on me. Let's begin then. Yi Xiao attacked directly, slashing the sword in his hand straight at Yi Chen. He poured water attribute spiritual power into the sword, and sword energy effused out in all directions as he attacked Yi Chen. Yi Chen calmly looked at the spiritual power rushing at him. He gently raised his hand and released dark attribute spiritual power to entangle the water attribute spiritual power flying at him. In mere moments, dark attribute spiritual power absorbed the water attribute spiritual power. What skill is this? Yi Xiao looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. His spiritual power was actually eaten. How is this possible? Below the stage, Len Ruoxue was also slightly surprised to see the means that Freak used. This should be the first time she saw Freak really make a move. In the past, he only used his fists to directly solve his opponents. My turn. Yi Chen didn't answer him. He immediately threw a punch squarely at the handsome face of Yi Xiao. Soon, the extremely handsome young master had a bruised and swollen head. What was even more pitiful was that Yi Xiao, who had always been regarded as a genius, couldn't fight back at all. Len Ruoxue's face was full of black lines as she looked at Freak unleashing his might on the stage. Here it comes again. Freak always pretends to be pitiful in front of me, but he's full of violence in front of others. Alas! Two-faced. Do you admit defeat? Yi Chen asked very kindly while beating him. Bullying a member of the Yi family is so enjoyable. After hitting his face, he started hitting other places. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. Yi Xiao slurred incoherently as blood kept flowing from the spot where a few teeth had fallen out. Stop, the referee hurriedly shouted when he saw him admit defeat. If this continued, someone might die. Did I win? Yi Chen looked at the referee innocently. You won, the referee said speechlessly. What kind of person is this? Yi Chen walked down from the stage and directly came to Len Ruoxue's side. Swear, I won. Yes, I saw it, Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. The match between Feng Moran and Di Fei and the one Huaqing and Pang Sen ended with Feng Moran's and Huaqing's victories. In this way, the 5 matches of the first day were over. After the competition ended, Leng Ruoxue and the others returned to the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. Over the following 2 days, another 10 individual matches were carried out. Leng Ruoxue, Yi Chen, Feng Moran, Huaqing, and Mu Li won both their matches and were temporarily tied for first place. After the first 3 days of the finals, there would be a 2-day break. Lass, our academy must win the individual competition. Elder Chiu said with a smile in the reception room. The individual competition was the most important competition in the academy competition. Elder Chiu, Pang Sen from the Lunar Shadow Academy lost all 3 of his matches. We should be on our guard against the Lunar Shadow Academy, lest they act desperately, Leng Ruoxue reminded. Pang Sen was the only one left from the Lunar Shadow Academy, and the academy had pinned all its hopes on him. That's true. The Lunar Shadow Academy is notorious for its despicableness. How about this? For the next 2 days, all of you will stay in the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion and don't go out. Even if you must go out, don't go out alone, Elder Chiu said after thinking. Okay. Leng Ruoxue and the others nodded. This was the best they could do for now. After the meeting, Leng Ruoxue returned to her room and entered the Heaven and Earth bracelet. Big sister. Qing Ju appeared in front of Leng Ruoxue. Leng Ruoxue picked up the little toddler. Qing Ju, why don't you grow up? I will naturally grow up when big sister unlocks my seal, Qing Ju explained. Ah. Who knows how long that will take? Leng Ruoxue was depressed. The heaven-defying art had 9 levels, but she hadn't even broken through the 2nd level yet. This won't do. I need to focus on cultivation after the academy competition ends. Big sister, someone is knocking on the door, Qing Ju reminded. Oh. Leng Ruoxue exited the Heaven and Earth bracelet and opened the door to see Freak standing outside. What's the matter? Leng Ruoxue asked while looking at Freak. Before she returned to her room, she had told them not to disturb her unless it was something important. Huang Fu Yan is here. Do you want to see him? Yi Chen said with some displeasure. Why is he here? Leng Ruoxue was puzzled, her beautiful face full of doubts. I don't know. Do you want to see him? I'll meet him. Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. Leng Ruoxue left her room and went to the reception room with Freak. Huang Fu Yan was sitting in the reception room and chatting with her grandfather. Miss Leng. Huang Fu Yan stood up when he saw her. Your Highness the Crown Prince, please have a seat. What brings you here, Your Highness? Leng Ruoxue asked directly. Don't call me Your Highness. Just call me Huang Fu Yan, Huang Fu Yan quickly said, not wanting Leng Ruoxue to be too distant. Okay. Leng Ruoxue didn't decline. Imperial Mother asked me to come, Huang Fu Yan explained. What did Her Majesty say? Huang Fu Yu woke up, but she has already become a fool. Imperial Mother asked me to remind you to be careful. Noble Consort Su won't let you go. Huang Fu Yan explained the reason for his visit to Leng Ruoxue. Thank Her Majesty for her concern on my behalf. I will be careful, Leng Ruoxue said politely. I've finished what I wanted to say. I will take my leave now, Huang Fu Yan said as he stood up. He really didn't know how to please a girl, and he felt very awkward because of what his mother had urged him before he came here. Grandpa, what do you think? Leng Ruoxue asked after seeing Huang Fu Yan off. Swear, let's be more vigilant these few days. Leng Qingtian said after some thought. He knew very well how bad Su Lianer was, so he couldn't let her hurt his grandchildren. Oh, by the way, Swear, I think I saw the 7th prince at the competition venue that day, Leng Qingtian suddenly said after remembering. The 7th prince? He's here in Lunar Capital. No wonder Leng Ruoxue felt that someone was watching her recently. Is it the seventh prince? Chapter 119, Proposing Marriage to Whom? 1. Grandpa, don't worry about him. He's probably here with Su Nair, Leng Ruoxue guessed after some thought. Okay. Grandpa, I'm going back to my room. Alright. The 2-day break passed quickly. On the morning of the 4th day of the individual finals, Leng Ruoxue and the others arrived at the competition venue. After drawing lots, they sat by the edge of the stage and waited. Leng Ruoxue's opponent today was Feng Moran, and her match was the first today. The time for the match came quickly. After the referee gave the order, the two of them walked onto the stage. Referee, I admit defeat, Feng Moran said to the referee as soon as the match began. Are you sure? The referee looked at Feng Moran to confirm. Yes. Alright. Leng Ruoxue wins the first match today, the referee announced helplessly. Big brother Feng, what are you doing? Leng Ruoxue asked unpleasantly after they got off the stage. All 4 of her opponents had admitted defeat in all 4 of her matches. Shuer, we are self-aware and sensible. How can we be your opponents? In that case, why waste time? Instead of doing this, it's better to preserve our strength to deal with other opponents, Feng Moran explained with a smile. That's right, Mississippi we're all family, so there's no need to fuss over it. Uniting against the outside is the most important thing, Feng De said as he came forward. Shuer, what they said is very reasonable. Freak echoed. Don't tell me you're also planning to admit defeat? Leng Ruoxue asked while looking at Freak. She had always been unclear about Freak's strength, and she really wanted to have a good fight with him. Yes, Shuer. You are the head of our family. How can I beat you? You have to show me mercy. Freak said ingratiatingly to Leng Ruoxue. I'm the head of the family? Leng Ruoxue asked while staring at Freak. Yes, you are definitely the head. Then will you definitely listen to me? Leng Ruoxue smiled lightly. Of course I will. What if I don't allow you to admit defeat? Leng Ruoxue looked at Freak with unfathomable depth, a trace of cunning flashing in her beautiful eyes. Shuer, please show mercy in front of so many people. If you want to use domestic violence against me, you can beat me up when no one is around. Freak looked at Leng Ruoxue pitifully with a pleading face. Leng Ruoxue was at a loss for words. This Freak is bullshitting. When did I start using domestic violence against him? Humph. Leng Ruoxue, you relied on your teammates admitting defeat to win so many rounds. What kind of skill is that? Big brother Qing will definitely defeat you. At this moment, Shimenya walked over and spoke with a face full of disdain. Where did this crazy woman come from? So rude. Leng Ruoxue glanced at Shimenya and said indifferently. Damn it. Who did you say is a crazy woman? Shimenya roared without any regard for her image. Calm down. Your beloved big brother Qing definitely doesn't like shrews. Look at Miss Shui. She's much gentler than you. Leng Ruoxue deliberately glanced at Shui Xinran, who was staying tenderly beside Hu Qing, and showed concern for her well-being. Shimenya's schemes were far inferior to Shui Xinran's. She wouldn't be a match for Shui Xinran even if there were 10 of her. You. Humph. Shimenya glared at Leng Ruoxue, but she looked at Yichen lovingly. Then she walked elegantly back to Hu Qing. Big brother Qing, Yair will cheer for you. Shimenya's gentle voice sounded not far away. Leng Ruoxue felt her hair stand on end. These women are really good at acting. Shuer, you have to cheer for me too. Freak said a little arrogantly. His opponent today was Hu Qing. He would definitely beat the living daylights out of him. Humph. Anyone who dares covet my woman deserves to die. Yes, you must win today. Leng Ruoxue nodded. Don't worry. I won't let my future wife down, Freak promised. The next match was Huaqing versus Yichen. Swear, it's my turn. Freak turned and walked onto the stage. I won't show mercy, Huaqing said politely. No one wants you to show mercy, Yichen said impatiently. There's something wrong with the people from the Rising Dragon Academy. Why do they always say such things before fighting? Then let's begin. Huaqing didn't want to waste any more time. These students from the Heavenly Phoenix Academy were his greatest enemies this year. Cut the crap. Yichen said unhappily. He had to hurry up and finish the fight so that he could accompany Shuer. Hearing this, Huaqing was a little angry and directly used his strongest spiritual skill, Blazing Cloud Mountain. An enormous mass of fire attributes spiritual power pressed down on Yichen like a towering mountain. Amazing. That should be your Hu family's most powerful heavenly spiritual skill, a middle-aged man said to a man of the same age beside him in the VIP seats. Yes, only geniuses like Qing'er are qualified to learn this spiritual skill, and ordinary geniuses aren't allowed to use it, the middle-aged man said with a face full of pride. Qing'er was the most outstanding child of their Hu family this generation and his pride at the same time. That Yichen is also very mysterious. I wonder who will win this battle, another middle-aged man said curiously. By the way, Brother Yi, isn't Yichen from your Yi family? He turned to the taciturn middle-aged man in black beside him. The man in black pursed his lips tightly and said with a serious expression, he's from a side branch of our Yi family. This damn bastard from a side branch actually dared to injure my son. Moreover, his talent is higher than my son's. I can't let Yichen live, or he might become a threat to my son in the future. The black-clothed man pondered in his heart and already had the desire to kill Yichen. The people in the VIP seats were harboring different thoughts. Leng Ruoxue, who was below the stage, watched as the massive fire attribute spiritual power pressed toward Freak. She was also a little worried. She could feel the pressure of the spiritual power below the stage, not to mention Freak on the stage. She didn't know if Freak would be able to deal with it. As she thought about this, her heart couldn't help clenching. Chapter 120, Proposing Marriage to Whom? 2. On the stage, Yichen looked at the spiritual power rushing at him and smiled nonchalantly. He casually released his dark attribute spiritual power, and the fist-sized black spiritual power fearlessly welcomed the fire attribute spiritual power that was more than 100 times larger than it. Soon, the fist-sized black spiritual power was surrounded by the fire attribute spiritual power and disappeared. Isn't this picking a losing battle? What's the point of such tiny spiritual power? That's right. It seems like young Master Huo will definitely win this battle. The audience started discussing again. Huaqing didn't care about the audience's discussions below the stage at all because he didn't believe that Yichen really only had this little trick. Don't tell me you only have this little trick. If that's the case, you will disappoint me tremendously, Huaqing said with full battle intent. Finding a good opponent wasn't easy. You will know soon. How did that happen? Someone in the audience exclaimed. The fire attribute spiritual power on the stage became smaller and smaller, and the dark attribute spiritual power that was supposed to be devoured slowly became stronger and stronger. Seeing this scene, everyone was speechless. On the first day of the finals, Yichen had used this move to defeat the young master of the Yi family. They didn't expect him to use the same move today. What kind of spiritual technique was this? How could it consume spiritual power of any attribute? After the tiny dark attribute spiritual power completed its mission, it immediately returned to its master's side and began circling Yichen as if it was asking for credit for its achievement. Yichen stretched out his hand and held the dark attribute spiritual power. After a while, the spiritual power disappeared. Now it's my turn, Yichen said lightly. Huaqing had attacked first just now. As soon as Yichen finished speaking, a strand of black spiritual power that was thinner than a strand of hair assaulted Huaqing. When the strand of spiritual power reached Huaqing, it coiled around him. Huaqing was stunned and wanted to break free, but he couldn't do it no matter how hard he struggled. Then a fist greeted his handsome face, and even his body wasn't spared. Below the stage, Leng Ruoxue had a few drops of cold sweat hanging on her forehead. What does Freak have against them? He especially aims for the face. Yi Xiao was like this too. Alas! How pitiful! A stunningly beautiful man is going to have a pig's head again. You barbarian, quickly stop. You're not allowed to beat up Big Brother Qing. Watching in the audience, Shui Xinran immediately lost her composure when she saw her beloved getting beaten up. She yelled out without caring about her image. Ximenya was a little stunned to see this situation, but she was not as worked up as Shui Xinran. After all, she wasn't someone who would only marry Huaqing. She only liked the strong, and she would marry whoever was the strongest. The mighty Yi Chen was so masculine now. Referee, did I win? Yi Chen still looked at the referee innocently. Why you won, the referee said weakly. Even though Huaqing didn't admit defeat, he obviously didn't have the strength to fight back. Moreover, the referee was certain that if he didn't announce that Yi Chen won, he would continue hitting Huaqing. Thank you. Yi Chen thanked him politely and walked off the stage calmly. On the other hand, Huaqing was carried down. Big Brother Yi, you're amazing. Ximenya was the first to welcome Yi Chen when she saw him coming down and looked at him like a love-struck fool. Don't call me Big Brother Yi. Get lost. Yi Chen roared impatiently. Then without so much as a glance at Ximenya, he strode directly to Leng Ruoxue's side with a fawning face. Swear, I won. Do you have any reward for me? Freak's beautiful face looked at Leng Ruoxue expectantly. What reward do you want? Leng Ruoxue looked at Freak with a spurious smile. Kiss me. Freak said shyly. Okay. Close your eyes. Leng Ruoxue agreed generously. Okay, okay. Freak was so excited. Swear is finally going to kiss me. He closed his eyes obediently. Done kissing. Leng Ruoxue said lightly. Why you're done? Why was it so fast? She only kissed my cheek, and it didn't feel right. It felt fluffy. Swear, you kissed me too fast. I didn't feel it, Freak said with some dissatisfaction. But his gaze was somewhat suspicious as he looked at the little silver wolf in Leng Ruoxue's arms. When did this little thing run out? Little Feng Feng, kiss him again. Leng Ruoxue said to the little silver wolf in her arms. Big sister. Little Feng Feng's fluffy little face was full of shyness. Woo woo. Big sister is so evil. My first kiss was actually given to a male. Swear, I was kissed by this little thing. Freak asked with a look of horror as his hand kept wiping the place where he was just kissed. Yes, what's the matter? Leng Ruoxue pretended to be confused as she looked at Freak with a puzzled face. Boo-hoo. I wanted you to kiss me. Freak looked at Leng Ruoxue aggrievedly with tears overflowing in his beautiful eyes, threatening to fall at any moment. You didn't say. Leng Ruoxue's expression was very innocent. Then I'll tell you now. Swear, kiss me now. Freak insisted. No. You said kiss you once already, and it's over now, Leng Ruoxue said resolutely. Swear, you're too evil. How can you bully me like this? The more he thought about it, the more aggrieved he felt. He simply turned his head and ignored Leng Ruoxue. Hey! Hey! Freak! Leng Ruoxue poked his back gently. Who would have thought that not only did Freak ignore her, but his shoulders also kept shaking as if he was crying. Is he really crying in public? Leng Ruoxue had a lot of questions. No, I can't be fooled. Freak loves to act pitiful in front of me. With this in mind, Leng Ruoxue decided to ignore him, lest he took the opportunity to make another request. When the matches for the day ended, they returned to the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion, but Freak still ignored Leng Ruoxue. The 5th day. The 6th day. The competition continued as planned. But from the 4th day until the 6th day of the finals, Freak continued to ignore Leng Ruoxue. Chapter 121, Proposing Marriage to Whom? 3. Elegance Lagoon Pavilion, in the reception room of the Heavenly Phoenix Academy. Miss, haven't you made up with Deputy Leader Yi? Feng De couldn't help asking when he walked to Leng Ruoxue's side. During the past 2 days, the tension between Deputy Leader Yi and their young lady had made things so tense that they didn't dare to speak loudly, and everyone was very cautious. He refuses to talk to me, so there's nothing I can do. Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. Isn't Freak a little too petty? It's been more than 2 days, and he's still ignoring me. Miss, men need to be coaxed. You are a woman, so you should give in to Deputy Leader Yi. Feng De said, thinking that he was being very fair. When Leng Ruoxue heard Feng Da's words, she broke out in cold sweat. What does he mean by men need to be coaxed? What does he mean by women should give in to men? Why does this sound so uncomfortable to me? Isn't it the opposite? I might not have been in love in my previous life, but you shouldn't lie to me like this. Miss, go and coax Deputy Leader Yi. He's easy to coax, Feng De continued. Oh, all right. She couldn't continue like this. She was really not used to having Freak not sticking to her. Leng Ruoxue left the reception room and went straight to Freak's room. She knocked on the door of the room, but no one answered. No one. I didn't hear Freak going out. Leng Ruoxue waited for a while and was about to leave when the door opened. What are you doing? Leng Ruoxue couldn't help asking when she entered the room. Freak is really too abnormal. In a daze. Freak said coldly, his eyes still a little red. Are you still angry? I was wrong. Don't be angry, okay? Leng Ruoxue coaxed patiently. Freak lowered his head and didn't say anything. I'm talking to you. Did you hear me? Freak still didn't say anything. If you're not going to say anything, I'm leaving. Leng Ruoxue threatened and turned around to leave. She had just taken 2 steps when a pair of strong arms hugged her tightly. You're not allowed to go. Freak said domineeringly as he hugged her even more tightly. You're ignoring me, but I'm not allowed to leave. Leng Ruoxue said deliberately, but she was overjoyed in her heart. Humph. Freak isn't the only one who can act. You bullied me first, Freak said aggrievedly. Leng Ruoxue was about to say something when her grandfather interrupted her. Shuer, someone from the Huo family is here. Leng Qingtian knocked on Yi Chen's door. Okay, Grandpa. Freak, could the Huo family be here to settle scores with you? Leng Ruoxue guessed. It would be strange if the Huo family would let Freak go after he beat up the genius young master of the Huo family to the point that his face flew all over the place. Okay, then you have to protect me, Yi Chen said a little arrogantly. Oh, Shuer smells so good and feels so soft. Let's go take a look. Leng Ruoxue said. There are still 3 rounds before the individual competition is over. What does the Huo family want by sending someone here at this time? Must we go? Freak said reluctantly. How could he bear to leave when a beauty was in his arms? Boo-hoo. This is such a bad time. His patience for the past 2 days was all for this moment. Grandpa called us, so of course we have to go, Leng Ruoxue said. Grandpa won't bother me unless it's something important. All right then. Freak said reluctantly, but he refused to let go of Shuer. He hadn't hugged her enough yet. Let go. How can we go out like this? No. I haven't hugged you enough. Freak said willfully. Let's go see what's the matter first. I'll let you hug me when we're back, Leng Ruoxue coaxed. Why does Freak behave like a child at times? It's a promise. Freak said happily. Yes, I said so. After leaving the room, they went to the reception room, where an elder sent by the Hua family was waiting for her. Lass, this is the Hua family's first elder, Elder Chiu introduced. Greetings, First Elder. Leng Ruoxue greeted the tall and thin man, who was around 50 years old. He, Miss Leng is too polite. The Hua family's first elder looked at Leng Ruoxue with satisfaction. Leng Ruoxue was no longer the Leng Ruoxue of the past. She was no longer the hateful simpleton. Who knew how many people were thinking of her? But only their young master was worthy of such a woman with both strength and beauty. The Hua family's first elder thought of his mission this time. He casually glanced at Yi Chen beside Leng Ruoxue and frowned slightly. Although Yi Chen was strong, he had no way to compare with their young master in terms of identity and status. Therefore, he was very confident that Leng Ruoxue would definitely make the best choice after hearing his intentions. First Elder, what brings you here today? Leng Ruoxue asked bluntly. Her time was precious, so it was better to get straight to the point. Miss Leng, don't be anxious. Listen to me slowly. The First Elder was very calm. First Elder, please speak directly. We have matches the day after tomorrow. Leng Ruoxue said. What she implied was that he should say it quickly and that they didn't have so much time to waste with him. Miss Leng is an impatient person, the First Elder said with a smile, his expression very amiable. It's good that First Elder knows. Leng Ruoxue was losing her patience with this slow First Elder. It's like this. General Leng, Miss Leng, I'm here today to propose marriage. The First Elder revealed his purpose. But his words were like a bomb that almost blasted the souls of everyone present out of their bodies. Propose marriage? To whom? Leng Qingtian stammered. Am I hearing things? Of course it's Miss Leng, the First Elder said matter-of-factly. What? Freak was furious when he heard this. Does the Hua family treat me as a decoration? They actually came to propose marriage to my fiancé. They're really going too far. Chapter 122, Proposing Marriage to Whom? 4. What are you so excited about? Let the First Elder finish speaking. Leng Ruoxue hurriedly coaxed and pulled Freak, who was so angry that he wanted to beat him up. Alright, I'll bear with it. Let's see what else this First Elder has to say. Yi Chen endured his anger and glared at the First Elder of the Hua family. Wait, First Elder, which Miss Leng? Leng Qingtian was a little lost. He only had one granddaughter, and she was already engaged. General, you really like to crack jokes. Of course it's Miss Leng Ruoxue. Don't you only have this one granddaughter? The First Elder tried his best to ignore the glare directed at him. First Elder, I'm sorry. My granddaughter already has a fiancé, Leng Qingtian explained. General Leng, Miss Leng is so outstanding, so of course you should have a better choice. Don't you think so? The First Elder directly ignored the fact that Leng Ruoxue had a fiancé and enticed her. He believed that no woman could refuse his proposal. I wonder who the better choice you are referring to is. Leng Qingtian pretended to be stupid. After all, the Hua family was the biggest family on the Ling Feng continent, so he didn't want to offend them if possible. The Hua family is too much. Who do they think they are? General Leng, if Miss Leng marries our young master, then she will be the future mistress of our Hua family. With such a noble identity, I believe all women will be envious of her, the First Elder said confidently. First Elder, is the young master you're talking about Hua Qing? Leng Qingtian asked. Of course. Our Hua family only has one young master, the First Elder said very clearly. First Elder, if I remember correctly, Hua Qing should already have a fiancé. Leng Qingtian said with some displeasure. This Hua family is really too much. Do they really think that their young master is in high demand? Hee, General Leng, you don't have to worry about that. Our patriarch said that after Miss Leng marries in, she will be of equal status with Miss Shui Xinran. They will both be the main wives. Having multiple wives isn't a big deal for men, but the status of the main wife is unshakable, the first elder assured. Sitting by the side, Yi Chen listened to the first elder's self-righteous words and was so angry that he really wanted to send the first elder to see his ancestors. But Shuer kept pulling him back, not letting him act rashly. All right, I'll bear with it. Anyway, I know that Shuer definitely won't marry Hua Qing. He was still confident about this. First elder, does Hua Qing know about this? Leng Ruoxue suddenly asked. She guessed that Hua Qing shouldn't know because he wouldn't humiliate himself with his proud nature. Don't worry, Miss Leng. The young master will follow the patriarch's arrangements, the first elder hurriedly said. He thought Leng Ruoxue was afraid that the young master was unwilling. Hua Qing really doesn't know. Since he doesn't know about this, why did the Hua family come to propose marriage at this time? Leng Ruoxue pondered. First elder, do you think marrying Hua Qing is my best choice? Leng Ruoxue asked lightly, making it impossible to guess what she was thinking. Of course. Marrying our young master is the dream of countless women, the first elder said very proudly. But I don't want to. Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly, her beautiful face still expressionless. What? You're unwilling, the first elder couldn't help exclaiming after being stunned for a moment. There's actually a woman unwilling to marry our young master. How is this possible? He had always been confident about their young master's charm, so he was totally unable to accept it when he heard a woman rejecting their young master. First elder, do you have any questions? Leng Ruoxue looked as if she was answering his doubts with as much sincerity as possible. Why aren't you willing? Our young master is the future patriarch of the Hua family and also a stunning genius. Such a man is the dream of all women. The first elder really couldn't understand. This young lady doesn't share a husband with others, Leng Ruoxue said bluntly. She was obsessed about cleanliness with men, and she wouldn't accept anyone who had been tainted by others. But it's only right for a man to have multiple wives and concubines, the first elder said as though it was obvious. The status of women in this world was actually not high, and most of them were just pawns of their families for marriage alliances. They had to rely on men to survive, so he was very confident that Leng Ruoxue would be very happy with the Hua family's proposal. But was Leng Ruoxue an ordinary woman? Of course not. First elder, may I ask why it's only right for a man to have multiple wives and concubines? Leng Ruoxue said with some displeasure. She hated people who favored males over females the most. Because of the high status of men. In this world, the strong are respected, and almost all the strong are men, the first elder explained. So, according to what first elder says, powerhouses with high status can have multiple wives. Leng Ruoxue smiled faintly. Of course. It's only right and proper for powerhouses to do whatever they want. What level would be considered a powerhouse? Leng Ruoxue asked. At least spiritual sovereign. According to first elder's logic, I can also have multiple husbands and concubines then. Leng Ruoxue said matter-of-factly. You are a woman. How can you have such thoughts? The first elder said very disapprovingly. The most important thing for a woman is to be virtuous. How can she have such absurd thoughts? But it was first elder who said that the strong are respected. Anything the strong want to do is right and proper. Leng Ruoxue repeated the first elder's words. But, the first elder stammered. Could it be that first elder doesn't think him a powerhouse? Leng Ruoxue forcefully asked while staring at the first elder. But you're a woman, the first elder said with a depressed face, unwilling to give up. There are differences between male and female powerhouses. First elder, you have to change your way of thinking, Len Ruoxue said earnestly. The first elder was speechless, very speechless. But he could see that he had failed his mission this time. Len Ruoxue would absolutely never marry their young master as long as Shui Xinran was around. Alas! What should I do? Chapter 123, The Unlucky Hu Family, 1. In fact, deep down, he felt that Len Ruoxue was more suitable for their young master than Shui Xinran. He originally thought that while Shui Xinran's talent was mediocre, she was still the eldest young lady of the Shui family and the #1 beauty on the Ling-Feng continent. She was barely qualified to be the future mistress of the Hu family. However, not only was Shui Xinran not as strong as Len Ruoxue, but she also paled in comparison in what she had the most pride in, beauty. Alas! Shui Xinran isn't worthy of our young master no matter how I think about it now. Miss Leng, don't be in a hurry to decline this matter. In my opinion, you should consider it carefully. As for Shui Xinran, I have to go back and discuss it with the patriarch before we can make the final decision, the first elder said without giving up. He was even sure in his heart that if it weren't for Shui Xinran, Len Ruoxue would definitely agree to marry their young master. After hearing what the first elder said, Len Ruoxue really didn't want to explain anything. It seemed that not only did the first elder not understand what she meant, but he even seemed to have misunderstood something. After sending off the Hu family's first elder, Ling Qingtian and Elder Qiu found an excuse to go back to their rooms to rest. Only Len Ruoxue and Freak were left in the large reception room. Shuer, why didn't you let me talk just now? Freak's face was full of dissatisfaction. If Shuer hadn't been pulling him back, he would have beaten someone up just now. Don't tell me you want to beat up the Hu family's first elder like how you beat up Hu Qing. That old man is merely a messenger, Len Ruoxue explained. Well, what you say is reasonable. Then I'll go beat up Hu Qing, Freak said very seriously after thinking about it. Why don't you just beat up the Hu family's patriarch as well? Len Ruoxue teased. Why does Freak like to beat people up so much? Okay, I'll listen to Shuer, Freak said ingratiatingly. Then he turned around and walked out. Wait, where are you going? Len Ruoxue hurriedly grabbed Freak. Beat people up. Hearing the succinct answer from Freak, Len Ruoxue couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. Freak is really violent. Damn Freak, stay still. All you know is to beat people up. The competition resumes the day after tomorrow. You can't beat them up now, Len Ruoxue growled. Alright. I'll go and beat them up after the competition, Freak said obediently. Boo-hoo. Shuer is so fierce. I'm scared. Do you think you can beat up the Hu family just because you want to? Len Ruoxue glared at Freak. It was one thing to beat them up on the stage, the Hu family had to bear with it even though they were angry. But it would really not be a wise move if they provoked the Hu family off the stage. Moreover, it would give the Hu family a good reason to attack. Then what should we do? Freak looked at Shuer aggrievedly. Freak, let's go back as soon as the competition ends. We'll deal with those people slowly in the future. Len Ruoxue suggested. They were really too weak now. Improving their strength was the most important task. Fine. Freak said reluctantly. Good. Len Ruoxue caressed Freak's head like she was petting a pet. Shuer. Freak looked at Shuer with shining eyes and hugged her. Shuer took the initiative to touch me again. I'm so happy. Freak, let go of me. Len Ruoxue looked at Freak who suddenly hugged her. Damn Freak, I'm suffocating from you hugging so tightly. I don't want to. You said you would let me hug you. But you're hugging me too tightly, Len Ruoxue said helplessly. Hee hee. Shuer, let's do something bad tonight. Freak suggested with a devious smile as he loosened his arms. Where? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously with raised brows. Doing bad things. I like them. Shuer, the Hua family has too much money to spend, so I think we should do something good and spend some on their behalf, Freak said very kindly. Since Shuer didn't want him to come openly, he should come secretly. After all, this marriage proposal made him feel uncomfortable, so he had to take revenge. Then let's go late at night. Leng Ruoxue said after some thought. Robbery and whatnot were the most enjoyable. It was late at night, and most people were sleeping soundly. Leng Ruoxue looked up. It was pitch black. She didn't expect even the heavens to take care of them. It was cloudy tonight, and such weather was the best for doing bad things. While everyone was sound asleep, Leng Ruoxue and Freak quietly left the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. They sat on Quill's back and flew to the Hua family's main residence. In her arms lay two small and cute foxes, one black and one white, and a small golden snake coiled around her wrist. With a face full of black lines, Leng Ruoxue looked at Dazzle and Rise, feeling a little helpless. She didn't know if these two little fellows were bored to death, but they were so excited when they heard that they were going to do something bad. They immediately signed up to participate. After reaching the Hua family's main residence, Quill found a secluded place and descended. About an hour later, the two humans and four beasts left the Hua residence in satisfaction. Freak, what was the powder you blew into Hua Yi's room? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously while sitting on Quill's back. Medicine. Of course I know it's medicine. I'm asking what medicine it is. A type of medicine that can cause a man to lose a certain function, Freak explained very ambiguously. This kind of thing shouldn't be explained too clearly. Anyway, he wouldn't let anyone who dared to have any ideas about Shuer off. Leng Ruoxue was speechless. It can't be what I think it is. Freak is too cruel. Soon, they returned to the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. The next day, Leng Ruoxue and the others went to the restaurant downstairs for breakfast. Just as she found a seat and sat down, she heard the discussion from the table beside her. Hey, did you hear? The Hua family was robbed last night. Not only were a lot of valuable things stolen, but a fire was also set off. I heard that at least a third of the Hua family's mansion was burned away. What a pity. The Hua family's mansion is even more luxurious and extravagant than the imperial palace of our South Dusk Empire, Passerby said with a mysterious expression. Your news isn't the latest. It's outdated, Passerby B said disdainfully. Chapter 124, The Unlucky Hua Family, 2, What's the latest news? Passerby A asked curiously. He just heard the news this morning. How did it become outdated so quickly? The latest news is, Passerby B looked around carefully. The Hua family's patriarch, Hua Yi, has become impotent, Passerby B said very quietly. Ah! Is this true? Passerby A couldn't believe it. It's absolutely true. The news is absolutely reliable, Passerby B said solemnly. What a pity for his many concubines. Passerby A felt great pity. Listening to the two people's whispered discussion, Leng Ruoxue was really speechless. Where did these two clowns come from? They actually dared to talk about the Hua family's patriarch in the Hua family's territory. But how did this news spread so quickly? It seems to have spread in just one night. Thinking of this, she deliberately glanced at Freak, who had a very calm expression. In the Hua family's main residence. In the main hall, Hua Yi, the Hua family's patriarch, sat in the main seat with a gloomy face. On both sides of him were sitting the elders of the Hua family. Elders, tell us the results of your investigation. Hua Yi said coldly with a livid face. Patriarch, according to my investigation, the news that you can't perform was spread from a servant of the Su family, the elder sitting in the second row on the left said carefully. Su family. Hui gritted his teeth and frowned. His handsome face was full of anger. How dare the Su family provoke me? Humph. I won't let them off. Patriarch, there's also evidence that the theft of our treasury was done by the Su family, another elder said. He found a Su family token on the path not far from the treasury, and that path happened to be the one people had to take to get to the treasury. The Su family is really too despicable, the elders said one after another. Everyone's face was extremely angry. The loss of the treasury was an enormous loss for their Hu family. Patriarch, elders, don't jump to conclusions yet. What if someone framed the Su family? Wouldn't we have fallen into their trap? The first elder reminded calmly. For some reason, he felt that something was amiss. First elder, you are too kind. This Su family has been at odds with our Hu family for a long time. They must have done it, a more fiery-tempered elder roared. Patriarch, it's very likely that the Su family is behind this, but we should still consider it at length. The elders discussed and expressed their views. Elders, calm down. I understand your intentions, but the most important thing now is the academy competition. We will talk about the other things after the academy competition is over. Hui made the final decision. The academy competition was related to the number of spots for the Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm, and it was of the utmost importance. After hearing Hui's words, all the elders fell silent. First elder, is Len Ruoxue really unwilling to marry Qing'er? Hui asked with a displeased face while looking at the first elder. Yes, she said she doesn't want to share a husband with others, the first elder said, but he was also a little displeased. He had already reported to the patriarch when he returned yesterday, but the patriarch actually asked again today. Ridiculous. It's normal for a man to have multiple wives and concubines. Why can't she accept it? Hui roared furiously. This Len Ruoxue really doesn't know how to appreciate favors. The main reason why he was willing to send someone to the Leng family to propose marriage was actually for the final competition. He didn't want his best son to lose to a woman. Patriarch, I personally think Len Ruoxue is more suitable to be the mistress of the Hu family than Shui Xinran. Please consider it carefully, the first elder repeated his proposal. No. The marriage with the Shui family can't be cancelled, Hui denied directly. No matter how outstanding Len Ruoxue was, she couldn't compare to the 5 great families. Seeing how insistent the patriarch was, the first elder had nothing else to say. In the reception room on the 5th floor of the elegant lagoon pavilion. Lass, the competition resumes tomorrow, Elder Chiu said. Yes. Lass, are you confident? Elder Chiu continued asking. Yes. Lass, can't you say a few more words each time? Elder Chiu looked at Len Ruoxue with some bitterness. Of course. There were 2 words now. Elder Chiu was helpless. Elder Chiu, just ask me what you want to know. Seeing his pitiful appearance, Len Ruoxue decided not to tease him anymore. Lass, have you heard about the Hu family? Elder Chiu probed. Yes. I heard some people talking about it while we were eating downstairs, Len Ruoxue said lightly. Then this matter has nothing to do with you, right? Elder Chiu said while looking at Yi Chen. Of course it has nothing to do with us. It's the Hu family. How can small families like us afford to offend them? Right, Grandpa? Yes, Shuer is right. We can't afford to offend the Hu family, nor do we dare to, Ling Qingtian said in agreement. You don't dare to offend them. You even dare to refuse the Hu family's proposal, and you still dare to say that you don't dare to offend them? Elder Chiu snorted in his head. Elder Chiu, I didn't expect you to be so gossipy, Len Ruoxue teased. Has this old man been too idle recently? Hee hee. I'm just curious. This is the most popular topic in Lunar Capital now, Elder Chiu said. Hui is really pitiful. Elder Chiu, we are leaving after the competition. You should prepare. Leng Ruoxue reminded. I'm going back to my room. Leng Ruoxue turned and left the reception room. Shuer, wait for me. Freak chased after her. Old Leng, who do you think did it? Elder Chiu pestered Leng Qingtian again after Leng Ruoxue left. How would I know? Don't they say it's the Su family? Leng Qingtian said without interest. Don't you want to know the truth? Elder Chiu asked, unwilling to give up. Why do I feel that this matter has something to do with that girl? No. Leng Qingtian turned and left. Chapter 125, The Unlucky Hu Family, 3, Old Leng, don't go. Let's keep chatting. Elder Chiu shouted from behind, but no one responded. The next day was the 7th day of the individual finals. Shuer, there seemed to be more people watching the competition today than the previous few days, Feng Moran said as he looked at the sea of people in the audience while sitting on the side and waiting for the matches to start. Yes, the competition ends in 3 days. If you don't watch it now, you'll have to wait 3 years, Leng Ruoxue said understandingly. The matches these 3 days should be the most intense, and accidents might happen at any time. After 6 rounds of the finals, Leng Ruoxue was temporarily ranked first in the individual competition with a flawless record. Yi Chen and Hu Qing were tied in 2nd place, while Mu Li and Feng Moran were in 3rd and 4th. Theoretically, the 5 of them were the most powerful contenders for the championship. Leng Ruoxue's remaining opponents were Hu Qing, Yi Xiao, and Pang Senator, and her opponent today was Yi Xiao. Leng Ruoxue was the last to go on stage today. In the first 4 matches, Yi Chen, Hu Qing, Mu Li, and Feng Moran won. The last match was Leng Ruoxue versus Yi Xiao. After hearing the referee's words, Leng Ruoxue slowly walked onto the stage, and Yi Xiao came up from the other side. You are a woman, so I'll let you begin first, Yi Xiao said very gracefully, even though a few of his teeth had been knocked out, making him speak weirdly. But he was still an elegant gentleman when he wasn't speaking. Then I won't hold back. Leng Ruoxue directly launched an attack after speaking. She wanted to end the battle quickly so that she could go back to sleep. An enormous mass of fire attributes spiritual power rushed toward Yi Xiao. The pitiful genius young master of the Yi family was blasted off the stage before he could even defend himself. Leng Ruoxue won. Ah! I didn't do it on purpose. Leng Ruoxue's face was full of innocence as she looked at Yi Xiao, whom she knocked off the stage with one move. I really didn't expect him to be so weak. Miss, didn't you still throw him off the stage even if you didn't do it on purpose? Alas! This young master of the Yi family is really pitiful. He keeps encountering monsters. The audience all looked at Yi Xiao with sympathetic eyes. How pitiful. He was being carried away again. Shuer, you've already won 7 matches in a row. That's great. Freak hurried to Leng Ruoxue's side as she walked down from the stage. Freak, let's go back. I want to sleep, Leng Ruoxue said sleepily. You're sleeping so early? Freak was a little surprised. What time is it now? Boo-hoo. I still wanted to go out with Shuer. Yes, I didn't sleep well last night. Then let's go back. Back at the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion, Leng Ruoxue went straight to her room to sleep. The next day, Leng Ruoxue emerged from her room refreshed after a good night's sleep. There was no suspense on the 8th day of the finals. Leng Ruoxue and the others each defeated their opponents. The 9th day of the finals was also the last day of the individual competition. After today's matches, the champion of the academy competition would be born. Leng Ruoxue, Yi Chen, and Hu Qing were the strongest contenders for the championship. Leng Ruoxue's last opponent was Hu Qing, and Yi Chen's last opponent was Pang Senator, but everyone present knew that Yi Chen's victory against Pang Sen was set in stone if nothing unexpected happened. The match between Leng Ruoxue and Hua Qing was the biggest highlight of the day, so everyone was looking forward to seeing an exciting battle. In the VIP seats. Brother Hua, are you alright? A middle-aged man sitting beside Hua Yi asked with concern. Do you think that I'm not? Hua Yi's face darkened with displeasure. Is Feng Miao planning to laugh at me? Outrageous. It's good that you're fine. I was really afraid that you would become like what the rumors say. Feng Miao said with a chuckle. Brother Hua, your Hua family suffered a big loss this time, right? Shui Zhen, the acting patriarch of the Shui family, asked with concern. Although the 5 great families appeared to be harmonious on the surface, they all secretly hoped that the others would suffer misfortune. That small loss is just a drop in the bucket to our Hua family. It's not worth mentioning, Hua Yi said indifferently. He knew that these people definitely wouldn't let him go since he came to watch the competition. It was such a rare opportunity to ridicule him. I wouldn't have come if it wasn't the last day. Brother Hua, money is just worldly possessions. Your body is the most important, the black-robed man said with pursed lips. That's right. I wonder how Yi Shao is doing. His injuries aren't light. Hua Yi retaliated. Not everyone could laugh at him. Shao's health is very good. Thank you for your concern, Brother Hua. While the patriarchs of the 5 great families were fighting openly and covertly in the VIP seats, the competition began. Dear guests and spectators, today is the last day of the Academy competition. Therefore, to show fairness, today's matches will be held simultaneously, and admitting defeat is not allowed. The competition officially begins. The host announced the rules of today's matches. After that, the referee gave the order for the 5 groups to go on stage at the same time. The last matches of the finals started on 5 arenas at the same time. However, not long after, the winners of the other 4 arenas were determined. But Leng Ruoxue and Hua Qing had yet to really start fighting. On the stage, Leng Ruoxue was puzzled as to why Hua Qing wasn't in a hurry to attack. Can we begin? Leng Ruoxue asked lightly. She didn't want to waste time. Are you in a hurry? Hua Qing looked at Leng Ruoxue calmly. Yes, let's begin quickly. Stop wasting time. Leng Ruoxue frowned impatiently. Nonsense. How can I not be in a hurry? Alright, let's begin. Hua Qing could see Leng Ruoxue's impatience, but he really didn't know how he had offended her and why she hated him so much. Thinking of this, he felt a little depressed. Chapter 126, The Lecherous Envoy from the Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm, 1, Take this. Leng Ruoxue didn't beat around the bush and directly used Feather of the Fire Phoenix. A beautiful blazing tail feather flew toward Hua Qing. Feather of the Fire Phoenix was the upgraded version of Flame Feather, and it was hundreds of times more powerful. But she didn't unleash her full strength. Otherwise, it would be difficult to say whether Hua Qing would still be alive or not. Hua Qing looked at the tail feather flying toward him. The little feather looked cute, but he didn't dare to let his guard down at all. He hurriedly used Fire Cloud Curtain to block the attack. At the same time, he released Blazing Cloud Mountain to attack Leng Ruoxue. As the giant flame cloud attacked Leng Ruoxue, the tail feather entangled with Hua Qing suddenly changed directions and instead entangled the flame cloud coming toward Leng Ruoxue. However, because the flame cloud was too big, the small tail feather could easily attack it. But the flame cloud couldn't capture the naughty little feather. The audience and the people in the VIP seats looked at the giant flame cloud that seemed to be being teased on the stage, and a few drops of cold sweat dripped down their foreheads uncontrollably. This was really too strange. At this moment, the little feather on the stage began to spin around the giant flame cloud, and its speed became faster and faster. Then it rapidly rushed inside the flame cloud. With a bang, the 2 clusters of spiritual power exploded in a violent collision. Since both of them used fire attribute's spiritual power, when the two clusters of spiritual power collided, the resulting explosion shot straight into the sky, illuminating the entire sky red above the stage. Ah! This scene stunned the audience below the stage. This is too powerful. Fortunately, a barrier shielded the audience. Otherwise, the explosion would have definitely killed people. The audience felt the power of the explosion, but what they felt was merely a drop in the ocean. On the stage, Hua Qing felt the explosion stronger than anyone else. He swallowed the blood that rushed into his throat and stared at Leng Ruoxue in disbelief. Is this her true strength? Do you want to continue fighting? Leng Ruoxue asked indifferently. She knew that Hua Qing had been injured by the spiritual power collision just now. If she were Hua Qing, she would choose to admit defeat. But she wasn't. Please enlighten me. Hua Qing's fighting spirit was strong. How could he admit defeat? Although he had lost that move just now, he still wanted to continue fighting. It wasn't easy to find a strong opponent like Leng Ruoxue. Okay. Since Hua Qing wanted to continue fighting, she would accompany him to the end. The spiritual power on the stage constantly danced and violently collided from time to time. In addition to the red fire attribute spiritual power, there were also green wind attribute spiritual power and light blue water attribute spiritual power mixed in. The battle between the two of them also shifted from the stage to midair. All the audience held their breaths and stared at the two of them, afraid of missing a single move. Amazing. Too amazing. This is definitely the most exciting battle of the Academy competition. This trip was really not in vain. All the spectators thought in unison. After a long time, the two of them stopped in unison. You are a rare good opponent. Hua Qing said excitedly. He liked to challenge himself, so he had very high standards for himself and his opponents, and ordinary geniuses were not qualified to be his opponents. Likewise, Leng Ruoxue was also very satisfied with her opponent, Hua Qing. At least, Hua Qing would not feel inferior because his opponent was stronger than him. Instead, he became braver as he fought, becoming stronger when facing a stronger opponent. This was very rare in real battles. Although I lost this match, I hope I'll have a chance to fight you again in the future. Hua Qing said in high spirits. It wasn't easy to find a good opponent, so he planned to pester Leng Ruoxue. Upon hearing this, Leng Ruoxue broke out in a cold sweat. What? Hasn't he had enough? This Hua Qing is definitely a battle maniac. It was a very scary thing to be entangled by someone like him. Suddenly, Leng Ruoxue felt a little regretful, regretting not using her full strength just now. Referee, I lost. Hua Qing took the initiative to say to the referee. The referee hiding in the distance nodded and then walked to the center of the stage with lingering fear. Leng Ruoxue wins, the referee shouted. Heavens! The strength of these two people is too terrifying. In this way, Leng Ruoxue became the champion of the Academy competition with a perfect record. Yi Chen was second, and Hua Qing only came in third. After the individual competition was over, the Academy competition came to an end, and the ranking of the top 10 academies was officially announced. The Heavenly Phoenix Academy won the Academy competition with absolute superiority. The Rising Dragon Academy was second, the Lunar Shadow Academy was third, the Flying Bird Academy was fourth, and the Land Shine Academy was fifth. In the Academy competition this time, the academies in the top 10 also won spots to enter the Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm. There were a total of 200 spots to enter the Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm, of which, first place, the Heavenly Phoenix Academy, had 50 spots. Second place, the Rising Dragon Academy, had 40 spots. Third place, the Lunar Shadow Academy, had 30 spots. Fourth and fifth places, the Flying Bird Academy and the Land Shine Academy, each had 15 spots. The 6th to 10th places each had 10 spots. Everyone, please calm down. The most exciting moment is coming. Next, let's welcome the envoy from the Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm to the stage to present the awards to the winners. After the host announced the names of the winners, the awards ceremony began. As representatives of the various academies, Leng Ruoxue and the others waited on the stage. What thing is an envoy from the Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm? Leng Ruoxue asked Freak beside her curiously. The Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm hasn't even appeared yet an envoy is here. How boring. This uncle is not a thing. A childish voice rang in their ears before Freak could say anything. A palm-sized ball of purple light appeared on the stage. The ball of light seemed to be glaring angrily at Leng Ruoxue while circling around her. Chapter 127, The Lecherous Envoy of the Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm, 2. Leng Ruoxue looked at the purple ball of light that kept flying around her and was a little puzzled. What the heck is this thing? Why is it revolving around me? Stop. Stop spinning. Leng Ruoxue ordered. This little thing was making her dizzy. The purple ball of light reluctantly stopped and glared at Leng Ruoxue. Humph. Let's see if you still dare to look down on this uncle. It's actually a big butterfly. Leng Ruoxue only saw it clearly when the purple ball of light stopped. In the ball of light was a butterfly emitting purple light. It was about the size of a palm and very gorgeous, with silver spots of light dotting its purple wings. But those small black eyes were staring at her unfriendly. This little thing even has a grudge against me. Leng Ruoxue couldn't help laughing slightly. But what is this little thing? A spirit beast? Are you a spirit beast? Leng Ruoxue asked as she grabbed the beautiful big butterfly. This uncle is not a spirit beast. I am a sprite. Do you understand what sprites are? The butterfly protested. I don't understand. Sprite? Never heard of it. Leng Ruoxue didn't give it any face. She really had never heard of it. You, girl. You've pissed this uncle off, the butterfly said angrily. But its tender voice sounded cute no matter how she looked at it. Girl? Leng Ruoxue was stunned. Did I hear it right? This big butterfly called me girl. Yes, girl. Smile at me, and this uncle will spare you and not blame you, Uncle Butterfly said very generously. Leng Ruoxue was at a loss for words. Am I being taken advantage of? Damn it. How dare it call itself an uncle in front of me? How dare it ask me to smile? In fact, it wasn't only her. The others on the stage also felt the same. Is this guy really an envoy of the mystic realm? Why does it behave like a hooligan? Damn butterfly, who gave you the guts to tease my fiancé? Freak was completely enraged after hearing what the butterfly said. This girl is your fiancé? How about this, name a price. This uncle has taken a fancy to her, Uncle Butterfly said calmly. Rise, come out and teach it some manners, Leng Ruoxue beckoned indifferently. What did this damn butterfly think she was? She had to teach it a lesson. Master, I'm here. After coming out of the heaven and earth bracelet, Rise enlarged a little. He then coiled around the butterfly that dared to tease his master and threw it directly into the sky. He then caught it, flung it, and caught it countless times. Ah! Fun! Fun! Come on! Come on! After being tossed a few times, the butterfly found it interesting. But after countless times, it couldn't take it anymore even though it had wings. Ah! 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 Stop, stop. That's enough. I don't want to play anymore. The butterfly thought they were just playing with it. Rise, stop. Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. Yes, master. Rise threw the dizzy butterfly aside, transformed back into a bracelet, and wrapped around Leng Ruoxue's wrist. This uncle feels so dizzy. The butterfly flew up unsteadily and came in front of Leng Ruoxue. Girl, your beast is too disobedient, the butterfly complained, obviously not having learned its lesson yet. Yichen grabbed the butterfly and squeezed it as hard as he could, wanting to crush it into pieces. But the butterfly was only a sprite and didn't have a physical body, so Yichen was only wasting his energy. Freak, why are you competing with it? Leng Ruoxue was a little speechless. This butterfly is merely a spirit body, but where did it learn to behave like a little hooligan? Was it born like this? Swear, I'll leave this guy to you to deal with. Freak thought about it. That's right. No matter how hard I squeeze, this butterfly won't know that it hurts. Hurry up and present the awards. Don't waste our time, Leng Ruoxue ordered as she took the butterfly. Girl, you have to be gentler. The girls serving this uncle these few days are much gentler than you, the butterfly said earnestly with an expression that said, I'm doing this for your own good. Hurry up and present the awards. Leng Ruoxue couldn't bear it anymore and roared. This butterfly really deserves a beating. Alright, since you're so anxious. Alas. This uncle is too kind, the butterfly said with emotion. There are a total of 200 spots for the Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm this time. Now, I will begin to give you the qualifications to enter the Mystic Realm, the butterfly said seriously. Then it started spinning again, and countless petals drifted toward Leng Ruoxue and the others. After a while, the petals disappeared, and a petal mark appeared on everyone's wrist. In addition, Leng Ruoxue and her group had a few more petals in their hands. Alright, this uncle has given you the qualifications. When the Mystic Realm opens, you can enter with this, the butterfly said. It finally completed its task. After the awards ceremony, Leng Ruoxue and the others walked off the stage. Why are you following me? Leng Ruoxue looked at the butterfly following her step by step with a headache. You are the biggest winners of this competition, so the task of taking care of this uncle is yours, the butterfly said matter-of-factly. Find someone else, Leng Ruoxue said coldly. Girl, you can't be so heartless. If you don't take care of me, this uncle will be sleeping on the streets, the butterfly said pitifully. You are a butterfly. Just find a small corner to hide in, and you won't sleep on the streets, Leng Ruoxue said without any sympathy. That's right. The Lunar Shadow Academy will be happy to take you in, Freak suggested. This stinky butterfly probably learned bad things in the Lunar Shadow Academy. Of course, you don't know how good they are to this uncle. They serve me good wine, good food, and good girls every day. But now, this uncle wants to follow you all and get you to serve me. The butterfly's stubborn temper also came up. The more they don't let me follow them, the more I want to follow. Even when Leng Ruoxue and the others returned to the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion, the butterfly refused to leave and followed Leng Ruoxue wherever she went. Chapter 128, The Lecherous Envoy of the Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm, 3, How long do you want to follow me around? Leng Ruoxue roared furiously. This perverted butterfly actually wanted to follow her to the washroom. This uncle wants to follow you all the time, the butterfly said seriously. Its mission was to follow and make sure that it found someone pleasing to the eye. Now that it found this girl, who else would it follow but her? I'm going to the washroom now. You can't follow me. Leng Ruoxue hollered. Why? The butterfly didn't understand. Couldn't it go there? No reason. Wait here and don't follow me in. Leng Ruoxue ordered. Oh, alright then. This girl seems a little angry. So scary. Afterward, Leng Ruoxue went straight to the reception room, where everyone was. Tell me. How should we deal with this little thing? Leng Ruoxue said helplessly as she looked at the butterfly who also flew in. Swear, just let it be if it wants to follow you. Leng Qingtian said with some amusement. He could see that his precious granddaughter was about to break down because of this beautiful butterfly. Lu Tao, Cui Zhu, you two take care of it, Leng Ruoxue said to her two maidservants. The two of them seemed to have had too much free time on their hands since they came to the Southern Dusk Empire. Yes, Mississippi. Just follow them from now on, Leng Ruoxue said to the butterfly. The butterfly circled Lu Tao and Cui Zhu twice before flying back to Leng Ruoxue. I don't want them. They're not sexy enough, the butterfly said very honestly. You're just a butterfly. Why do you want them to be sexy? Leng Ruoxue roared furiously. It's good for the eyes. The butterfly's small black and shiny eyes emitted a lustful glow. Grandpa, do you still think we should let it follow us? Leng Ruoxue said weakly. Leng Qingtian didn't know what to say. He had underestimated how perverted this butterfly was. Lass, there's nothing we can do if it doesn't leave. Elder Chiu said sympathetically. Perverted butterfly, why do you insist on following us? Leng Ruoxue couldn't help asking. You are the champions of this academy competition, so of course I have to follow you, the butterfly explained. Just because of this? Leng Ruoxue didn't believe that it really wanted to follow them just for this reason. Yes. Then follow Elder Chiu. We're all together, and he's an elder of the academy. Leng Ruoxue sold out Elder Chiu without hesitation in order to escape from this perverted butterfly. Lass, Elder Chiu looked at Leng Ruoxue aggrievedly. Boo-hoo. How can you do this? I don't want to. I'm not interested in old men. Then you insist on following me? Leng Ruoxue was so angry. There were so many people, but why was it sticking to her? Yes. Then what benefits will I get if I let you follow me? Leng Ruoxue said while looking at the perverted butterfly schemingly. Since she couldn't get rid of it, she would feel very uncomfortable if she didn't fish for some benefits for herself. You will benefit greatly if you let me follow you, the butterfly said proudly, so smugly that she couldn't rebuke anymore. Tell me about it. If it satisfies me, I'll let you follow me around, Leng Ruoxue enticed. You'll know when the time comes. I won't tell you now. The butterfly kept her guessing. Fine. If you don't satisfy me by then, you're dead meat, Leng Ruoxue threatened. Don't worry. You will definitely be satisfied. The butterfly's face was like that of a charlatan. Elder Chiu, I had an agreement with the principal. These are the 7 spots to enter the Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm. Keep them safe. Leng Ruoxue handed 7 flower petals to Elder Chiu. Okay. Oh, right. Lass, let's stay for another day tomorrow and go back the day after tomorrow, Elder Chiu said as he took the exquisite flower petals. Alright. Elder Chiu, this should be tsung mince. I'll give it to you now. Leng Ruoxue took out another petal. Although Elder Chiu was Grandpa Lin's trusted aide, she knew very well that he might not necessarily have the chance to obtain a spot to enter the mystic realm. After all, there were too many complications in the academy. Lass, thanks. Elder Chiu was touched as he took the petal and put it away. Okay, I'm going to sleep. You can all go now. Leng Ruoxue couldn't stand the grateful look in Elder Chiu's eyes, so she quickly turned around to leave the reception room. Shuer, wait for me. Freak chased after Shuer. Old Chiu, I'm also going to sleep. Leng Qingtian patted Elder Chiu on the shoulder. Old Leng, Elder Chiu didn't know what to say. Ah. Don't cry. Leng Qingtian looked at Elder Chiu's slightly moist eyes and hurriedly left. You all, seeing everyone leave the reception room, Elder Chiu couldn't help feeling slightly helpless. Alas, I owe that lass even more now. Shuer. Freak chased up to Leng Ruoxue's room. Freak, aren't you going to sleep? Leng Ruoxue asked as she was about to enter the room. Shuer, we haven't been together for a long time. Freak said aggrievedly. Rubbish. Isn't this guy a little too exaggerated? We meet every day. Yes. Schwer, chat with me for a while before sleeping. Freak pleaded, his expression resembling an abandoned puppy. Humph. Pretending to be pitiful. So evil. The shiny butterfly following Leng Ruoxue became disgruntled before she could say anything. Pfft. Leng Ruoxue couldn't help laughing. Looks like Freak has met his match. Damn butterfly, scram to the side. Freak roared. Schwer, this damn butterfly bullied me. Freak immediately looked at Leng Ruoxue pitifully after roaring at the butterfly. Alright, stop arguing. Come in. I'll chat with you for a while, Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. Freak loves pretending to be pitiful in front of me. Okay. Freak glared at the butterfly triumphantly and then followed Leng Ruoxue into the room. Chapter 129, The Lecherous Envoy of the Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm. 4. Girl, sleep with me, said the butterfly, unwilling to be left out, as it flew to Leng Ruoxue. Get lost. Yichen furiously slapped away the butterfly, who wanted to take advantage. I haven't even enjoyed the benefit yet, so how can I let this stinky butterfly get it so easily? After being slapped against the wall, the butterfly flew back, stopped in front of Leng Ruoxue, and persuaded her. Girl, this man is too barbaric. Change him. Stop arguing. Get out if you continue. Leng Ruoxue said unpleasantly. These two fellows are really. We're not arguing, the two said in unison, extremely well behaved. Whoever's making a fuss, get out. Okay. The two nodded non-stop. By the way, butterfly, let me ask you something. Can the ownership of the spots into the Creek of Affinity Mystic Realm be transferred? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. Of course not. But ownerless spots can be transferred, so you have to protect the ones in your hands. Someone might snatch them away, the butterfly reminded. Got it. Leng Ruoxue nodded. She would distribute the spots in her hands tomorrow to avoid others from having designs about them. Schwer, how do you intend to distribute the 10 spots in your hands? Freak asked curiously. Of course, they are for our own people, Grandpa, Big Brother, Lu Tao, Cui Zhu, and the others, Leng Ruoxue said after some thought. In addition to her family, they were her subordinates. Freak, do you have anyone you want to give one to? Leng Ruoxue asked. I don't. Freak said indifferently. The Yi family will probably come to look for you, Leng Ruoxue guessed. No one knew that she had spots for the mystic realm yet, but she wouldn't be able to hide it for long. She believed that they would definitely come to look for Freak after they knew. It's useless even if they look for me. I don't have any means I don't have any. Freak said nonchalantly. He didn't treat the Yi family as family. The two of them chatted for a while. Seeing that it was getting late, Leng Ruoxue chased the reluctant Freak out. The next morning, Leng Ruoxue just woke up when someone knocked on her door. Why are you here so early? Leng Ruoxue asked when she opened the door and saw Freak standing outside. Schwer, we're going back tomorrow. Let's take a walk on the streets. Freak looked at Leng Ruoxue expectantly. Okay, I want to go on the streets, the butterfly said from beside Leng Ruoxue. We're not bringing you. He only wanted to go with Schwer and didn't want a third wheel. TCH. That's not up to you, the butterfly provoked. Wait for me, Leng Ruoxue said while ignoring the sparks flying between the two. After freshening up simply, Leng Ruoxue and Freak informed her grandfather and then left the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. Freak, it's almost time. Let's go back. Leng Ruoxue was a little tired after walking for nearly half a day. Okay. He didn't have any specific destination in mind. He just wanted to spend some time alone with Schwer, but there was the third wheel. The two of them returned to the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion, ate in the restaurant downstairs, and then went upstairs. "Miss, the president of the Beast Trainer Association is here," said Lin Yuan, who had been guarding Leng Ruoxia's room, after seeing her return. "The president of the Beast Trainer Association? Why is he here? Did he come for Rise and Dazzle? I don't know. But the great general and Elder Chiu are with him. I'll go take a look." No matter what his purpose was, she wasn't afraid of anything that might happen. "I'll go with you," Freak said quickly. "Okay." They walked to the reception room together. "Grandpa, we're back," Leng Ruoxia said directly after entering the reception room. Her gaze turned to the old man sitting next to her grandfather. The old man was about 60 years old, slightly chubby, and looked very amiable. He was wearing a long blue-gray robe and sitting leisurely beside her grandfather. After seeing Leng Ruoxia, he looked at her thoughtfully. "Shuer, this is Master Sui, the president of the Lunar Capital's Beast Trainer Association," Leng Qingtian said while shooting glances at his granddaughter. "Hello, Master Sui," Leng Ruoxia said politely. "Miss Leng is now the most popular genius on the Ling Feng continent. You do live up to your reputation. General, I'm so envious of you." Master Sui looked at Leng Ruoxia with appreciation and then turned to Leng Qingtian. "Hee, Master Sui flatters us." Leng Qingtian was very pleased with himself. "Is Master Sui here for me?" Leng Ruoxia asked directly while looking at him. "Yes, I came specially to look for Miss Leng. May I know why Master Sui is looking for me?" Leng Ruoxia probed. "I'm here to invite Miss Leng to join the Beast Trainer Association." "Master Sui, you must be mistaken. I'm not a beast trainer," Leng Ruoxia said calmly. She didn't want outsiders to know that she was also a beast trainer. "It doesn't matter. You've already obtained our association's treasures. As the president, I won't be able to explain myself to others if you don't join our association," Master Sui said with a smile, his eyes carrying a trace of scheming. "Master Sui, I won those 2 spirit beasts from Princess Huang Fuyu. They are the spoils of our competition. Moreover, if I remember correctly, Huang Fuyu is your disciple, right?" Leng Ruoxia asked lightly with a smirk. "Yes, she is my disciple. But those 2 spirit beasts are from our association," Master Sui stressed. "What does that have to do with me?" "Master Sui, you should look for Huang Fuyu. Besides, it's only right for a master to clean up the mess caused by their disciple," Leng Ruoxia said bluntly without giving face. What she implied was that he shouldn't even think about scheming against her. "This Huang Fuyu has already turned into a fool," Master Sui said while suppressing his anger. In fact, before he came, he had thought of the many responses that Leng Ruoxia could make, but he didn't expect her not to give him face. Chapter 130, Criminal. "Are you referring to me?" 1. Master Sui, Huang Fuyu becoming a fool isn't my fault, is it? Leng Ruoxia said with a spurious smile. Could it be that Master Sui is also someone who can't differentiate right from wrong? As her master, you can't escape the blame now that Huang Fuyu became a fool, right? Leng Ruoxia continued. Master Sui's forehead was full of cold sweat. He had been famous for many years and had always been respected. No one had ever dared to criticize him so directly, but he couldn't deny that what Leng Ruoxia said was right. They had indeed spoiled Huang Fuyu. "Master Sui, please forgive me for not being able to join the Beast Trainer Association. If you have any doubts about the ownership of the 2 spirit beasts, please look for the person responsible," Leng Ruoxia said bluntly. "Miss Leng, please reconsider." Master Sui refused to give up. "I have considered it thoroughly. I am not a beast trainer, so I am not qualified to join the Beast Trainer Association. Master Sui, you don't have to trouble yourself." Leng Ruoxia directly made things clear. Sigh. Alright then, I won't force you. However, Hu Bin from your academy should be able to join our Beast Trainer Association, right? Since Master Sui couldn't convince Leng Ruoxue, he could only shift his target to Hu Bin. Master Sui, even though all Beast Trainer Associations are under the main Beast Trainer Association, Hu Bin is from the Eastern Lagoon Empire after all. It's really not appropriate for him to join the Beast Trainer Association of the Southern Dusk Empire, Leng Ruoxue said after some thought. Whether or not Hu Bin wanted to join the Beast Trainer Association depended on Hu Bin himself. How could they decide for him? I can speak to the president of the Beast Trainer Association in the Eastern Lagoon Empire. All of this won't be a problem as long as Hu Bin is willing to join our association, Master Sui promised. Master Sui, we are really grateful that you are so enthusiastic. But it is really inconvenient for Hu Bin to join the Beast Trainer Association of the Southern Dusk Empire, so we can only appreciate your good intentions. Leng Ruoxue was a little impatient. Why is this old man being so difficult? Can't he understand the tactful refusal? Miss Leng, I think it's better to ask Hu Bin for his opinion on this matter. What if he agrees? What he implied was that she was just an outsider, so how could she decide for him? Alright. Freak, please invite Hu Bin over. Okay, wait a moment. Freak turned and left the reception room. Before long, Freak returned, followed by a young boy. Hu Bin, this is Master Sui, the president of the Southern Dusk Empire's Beast Trainer Association. Leng Ruoxue gave a simple introduction. Hello, Master Sui. Hu Bin bowed. Master Sui was a grandmaster in the Beast Trainer world, and he had heard a lot about him. You don't have to be so polite. Hu Bin, I'm very satisfied with your talent in beast training. I want to invite you to join our association and take you in as my disciple. What do you think? Master Sui said to Hu Bin amiably and threw out a big bait. He believed that no beast trainer could refuse his offer. Hu Bin's delicate face was full of astonishment. Master Sui had a very high status in the beast trainer world. To an ordinary beast trainer, becoming Master Sui's disciple was absolutely a cause for celebration. If he had such an opportunity in the past, he would have definitely been so happy that he wouldn't be able to sleep. But he wasn't happy at all now, or perhaps it could be said that he was very calm. I'm sorry, Master Sui. I'm very grateful for your kind intentions, but I can't join the Beast Trainer Association of the Southern Dusk Country. Moreover, I don't intend to join any Beast Trainer Association, Hu Bin said with certainty. He wanted to follow Leng Ruoxue forever, so there was no way he could join any association. Furthermore, he didn't think that he would be able to learn more by joining an association than following his young lady. Hu Bin, do you know what you're saying? As a beast trainer, no one will recognize your status if you don't join the Beast Trainer Association. Master Sui was no longer calm. The conditions he offered were so good, and countless people dreamed of it. He never thought that Hu Bin would actually refuse. Master Sui, I've thought it through. Thank you for your kind intentions. With that, Hu Bin directly left the reception room. Elder Chiu, are you going to let the students of your academy joke about their future? Master Sui turned his head and said angrily to Elder Chiu. Master Sui, these students aren't children anymore. They won't joke about their future. Moreover, our academy can't force students to do things they don't want to do, right? Elder Chiu said somewhat helplessly. Furthermore, I think you should have heard that our academy's Lu Yen also declined the invitation of the Alchemist Association a few days ago. Alas, these children. Their wings have hardened, and they are no longer restrained by our academy, Elder Chiu continued. The expression on his face was very helpless, but he was thinking about how much better it was to follow that girl than to join any association. If he wasn't an elder of the Heavenly Phoenix Academy now, he also wanted to follow that girl. Sigh. If that's the case, I won't force you. Goodbye, Master Sui said in defeat. Today was probably his most humiliating day since he became famous. He hadn't achieved a single thing he wanted to do. Lass. You've completely offended old man Sui this time. Elder Chiu couldn't help reminding after seeing Master Sui off. So what? It's impossible for me to join the Beast Trainer Association. He should think of ways to solve the problems caused by his own disciple, Leng Ruoxue said without much sympathy. In fact, she knew very well that there would definitely be trouble when Huang Fu Yu took the two spirit beasts from the Beast Trainer Association. That was why she asked Huang Fu Yu to write the contract when she was competing with her. Moreover, those were internal affairs between Huang Fu Yu and the Beast Trainer Association. She didn't want to participate, nor did she want to be used by others. Old Chiu, Shuer will take care of it. Don't worry. Ling Qingtian spoke up for his granddaughter. All right then. But you have to tell me if there's really any trouble. A spiritual supremacy now after all, Elder Chiu said very loyally, you're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.